guys, it's Maya. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on our video today. As you can see by the title, this reading is all about where do you truly belong, with who, and doing what. So I actually got this idea from Kino Tarot. She is like literally my queen, so I love her, and she has such great reading topics and ideas. And I remember she posted this like a year ago, and it really stuck with me. And I was kind of like brainstorming on what to do next. And I felt like this would be something great to talk to my collective about. So that is what we're doing today. It's pretty straightforward. I'll explain a little bit more once we get into the group, but we're going to see where do you truly belong, with who, and doing what. So, one thing that I like about this actually is, like, I'll show you an example really quick. I'm actually using 3 decks for each group. As you can see, they're kind of hiding. So in a second, when I show all the cards and stuff, I'll show you that there are 3 different decks for each group. And I just felt drawn to using 1 deck per question. So since we're asking about like 3 big questions, I wanted to use 3 different decks, and they are all a color coordinated. And I felt like that was really cool too. So I think this is the first time ever I'm using 12 decks all at the same time. Well, technically not at the same time, but we're rotating them 3 at a time. But yeah, I just felt drawn to do that today. I don't know why. I've never done anything like that, but it seems fun, and I had enough colors to do this, so that's what we're doing today. So let me show you your options up close one by one, and also keep in mind you can be drawn to multiple groups because we are using so many decks today, and maybe there's multiple places that you have to go to at some point in your life, or there's multiple things you have to do in multiple places. So you can definitely watch as many as you would like, but let me show you the options up close one by one. Group 1, this is the Budstone Crystal, and your decks are the Muse Tarot, the Tarot of the Witch's Garden, and then the Real Talk Tarot, and your color is green. Group 2, your crystal is this Amethyst Point. Your decks are the Cat Tarot, the Star Spinner Tarot, and then the Shadowscapes Tarot, and your color is purple. Group 3, your crystal is this Smoky Quartz Cluster. Your decks are the Black and White Rider-Waite Glow-in-the-Dark Tarot, the Lightseers Tarot, and this is the Mystic Mondays Tarot, and your color is black. In Group 4, your crystal is this Blue Obsidian. Your decks are the Modern Witch Tarot deck, the Marseille Arcana, and the Landscapes Tarot, and your color is blue. Okay, you guys, these are all of your options laid out for you. Now, I didn't show you what the actual cards are. Normally, that is what I do, but since we have so many cards out here, 12 cards, I also just kind of picked like the first one out of the box, so I didn't really like put any intentions behind it. I more so want you to choose based off of color and kind of like the color scheme of what we see here. So yeah, and also like the back artwork design and the crystals. But yeah, these are your options. Like I said, you can watch as many as you would like and take all the time you need to pick a group. You could pause the video if you need to. I'm going to get started with group number 1. Hey guys, if you chose this Budstone along with the Real Talk Tarot, the Muse Tarot, and the Tarot of the Witch's Garden and the color green, this is your group. Hello, group number 1. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you so much for clicking on our video today, whether it's your first time on my channel or if you have watched my videos before. Thank you so much for all of your support, and I am very excited for our reading today because I've never done this topic before, but I don't think I've used like multiple decks. I think I've done maybe like 2 at the most. But I think they were like clarifying each other. So this will be the first time where I'm like answering 3 sets of questions with 3 different decks, and it's like color coordinated. So I'm very excited about it. But yeah, let's get right into it. So to answer the questions that we have today, we're going to use this deck to see where do you truly belong. So this is going to show us like where in the world or the environment or the type of people. I'll try to get like physical locations as well. So we'll see where with this deck. with this deck, we're going to see with who. So this is like people, friends, acquaintances, coworkers, maybe even pets, but this is like the actual like energies that are surrounding you in this location. And then this is going to be doing what? So this is going to talk about what are you truly meant to be doing right now. This is career, this is passions, hobbies, you know, how you express yourself. So we're going to look at that with this deck. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to move these aside for now just to make some more space, but we will go one at a time. So we're going to start off with this. I think I want to put crystals up here today. Okay, so we will start off with this deck. This is Where Do You Truly Belong? And before we get into it, I actually have this astrology deck, which I just got. So I'm really excited about using this. I'm going to pretty much, there's like already like, it's like bent. Okay, it's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull one card from this deck for all three groups, and this is going to give us just a little bit more information about what that group is going to say to us. So I'm going to pull one from here about where do you truly belong, and then I will get, I'm thinking like three decks out of this, or sorry, not three decks, three cards, 3 or 4 cards out of each deck. So we'll see what the vibes are as I get into it, but let's get started. Okay, so let's see. Where does group 1, where physically in the world does group 1 truly belong? Where in the world physically does group 1 truly belong? Okay, I will take that one. Ooh, we have house 5. So this is the 5th house. We have passion, play, children, confidence, and creativity. The 5th house is also about, oh, that's interesting. We have music notes, and even the bird here may be singing, or like music could be significant to you in some way. But the 5th house, it really talks about like things that are right in front of us, something that's almost temporary, something that's creative and fun, but it's right in front of us. We're not really thinking about the long term. We're thinking about something more casual or more of like an intermediate energy. I don't know how else to describe that. But I do have the guidebook because for all of our cards that we use from this deck, I wanted to dive in deeper. So let's find house 5. Also, there's like kids yelling outside, you guys, so if you hear that, I apologize. We have self-expression, joy, confidence, passion, creativity, experiences, taking risks, play, love affairs, relationship to children, and approach to parenting. And then we have embrace all facets of the life you have lived, the mistakes, triumphs, gifts, and struggles. Can you tap into a sense of pride in the person you have become? Let the wondrous, oh my God, being that you are radiate and shine. This extroverted energy says, allow yourself to be seen by both yourself and others. You know what's so interesting? It even says if you're an artist, create, if you're an adventurer, explore, if you're a social butterfly, mingle, find ways to laugh with abundance and feel free. Oh my God, do you guys hear that kid yelling outside? Okay. What strokes a burning fire in your belly and fills your heart with the love of life? Prioritize simple fun, engage with the world, and enjoy your physicality. The expression of your authentic self is your highest offering. You know what's so interesting is I feel like where you are truly meant to go, group 1, I feel like you're not there yet because it almost feels like a place where people are confident. It's a place where people like express themselves, shine, especially if there's something to do with music or you being an artist. It feels like a place where you can really tap into that creative energy, and there's other people around you that are also doing this in that current stage in their life. So I'm definitely sensing like fire. I'm definitely sensing Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I'm sensing Leo specifically for this group. You could have a Leo sun or a Leo rising, but it just feels like you're pursuing something that is a little bit unconventional. So we'll use that musician example, and you have to put yourself in an environment where that is accepted to be a musician, but also there are other musicians around you. There's other there's you're able to network, you're able to connect. Maybe there's a lot of record labels in that area. There's something about like finding the connections but this also feels like a short-term situation because it almost feels like you're just beginning or you haven't begun yet. And that's why with the fifth house, it's not really talking about long term. It's not talking about, okay, we're planting these seeds for slow and steady progress for the end goal. We're doing this for now because we have to get started. We have to jump into the situation and just focus on what we can do today. And I think it's like you're meant to find that motivation, but I also feel like something about your physical environment doesn't allow you to tap into this creativity, or it doesn't give you the motivation or the drive. But when you go to this place, I'm thinking like example like LA, because I think a lot of musicians go to LA or even like Nashville, right? Like that's like a music hub. So then when you're surrounded by other like-minded people that are kind of pursuing the same craft as you, or people you can collaborate with, it's like it helps you get the ball rolling on your own goals. There's something about your physical environment right now that's not helping you tap into these goals. Let me get 3 or 4 cards from this deck for group number 1. But we kind of have an idea of where you truly belong in the world right now. And I think I will say this energy does feel temporary because it feels like you just need to get started and you have to be in, for example, like Nashville to get started. But you don't have to stay in Nashville or that music hub long term, because if you get that foundation going, then you can probably move wherever you want. You know what I mean? So there's something about like to get it started, you need to be here. But let's clarify. Let's see what's going on with group 1. Where in the world does group 1 truly belong? Let's get some traits, some environmental situations. Page of Pentacles. Oh, that ring is going to bother me. Let's see. Where in the world does group 1 truly belong? And can we clarify the 5th house? Oh, we have the Fool. Where in the world does group 1 truly belong? We have the 8 of Cups. Ah. Wow. 2 Pentacles, and we have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so I definitely think this could also be about school. This is literally just about you pursuing something that makes you happy, and it's something that is very exciting to you. It's something that is your talent. Maybe you have multiple talents, but this is a talent of yours. It is a hobby of yours. It's like a place where you can truly express yourself, and it's coming from like that fire in your belly. It's coming from that place within you where this is you. This is truly who you are. You are that free bird to express yourself and to fly and to soar through the air and be truly who you want to be. So I guess like that musician creative example, if that's too specific, let's just broaden that up. I think if we just boil this down, it feels like you need to be somewhere where you can truly pursue and express yourself the way you want to express yourself, and pursue whether it's the studies or the creative endeavors or the career situation, which I do think for a lot of you, it's either creative or there's something about studies, like you're learning to get better at a skill, or you're going to school to gain knowledge about a skill, but it is something that makes you happy or exciting. So it's not like a boring studies, like, oh, I have to go do my prerequisites. It's not like that. It's like, oh, maybe I want to be a musician and I want to go to music school, right? Like that would help you put yourself in the right place to start something. I'm definitely seeing like sunny. This place could be very warm. It's very warm and inviting. And I think there's a lot of sunshine. So again, that takes me to like that LA or maybe Nashville, even Florida energy. It's like it's very sunny. And I think there's a lot of unique people in this place because everyone is kind of there. It's like unique, but you all share the same interest. So it's not like, I'm really not sensing New York. I feel like it's even more specific than New York. Because I think in New York, people go there with all different talents and all different skills and pursuing all different things. But I think like Nashville, something like that, where it's like a music hub and people go here to pursue one specific niche, but it's like unique people, but we're all doing the same thing. That's like the vibe I'm getting. Or like a very important school like Juilliard, right? Like Juilliard is like the best school for musicians like in the world. So it's something like that, like unique people coming somewhere, but you're all doing the same thing. I definitely think Spirit is saying to you, Group One, that you, in your current environment, wherever you're living in the world, you're not reaching your true potential. Because with this being the fifth house, and we're talking about this creative endeavor of yourself and like you pursuing certain, like, especially if this is going to be a career for you, it just feels like in your current environment, it's not available to you. Like for some reason, you cannot access it to a certain degree. I think you can only access it a little bit, but that little bit is not enough for you to grow into who you are really meant to be, and especially hit the potential that you have when it comes to this. Does that make sense? Like, say I'm living in like a random town where there's no musicians, like people don't do this, there's no music schools, there's no way for me to tap into this creativity, there's no art schools, and it's like I can only do so much. Maybe I can do like open mic nights or like something where you can only do so much but you can't do enough. That's what it feels like. It feels unfulfilling because you cannot do enough, you can only do so much, but your soul, especially as you get older, I'm seeing this as like when you're younger, maybe you're like settling, you're like okay with it, but then I think as you're getting older, it's like that fire is, that the heat is being turned up underneath you, because now you're realizing, wait a second, I actually do want to be somewhere where I can pursue this. Maybe this is really not it for me anymore because I've hit my peak. You know, I've hit as much as I could possibly do here. And I love that we have the Ace of Pentacles and even the Page of Pentacles, and there's like books down here, you know, that is, even this, you know, this is the Fool carrying books in a very light load, literally carrying a sack, which is showing me that like you were meant to really start over in this new place. We're seeing aces, we're seeing new beginnings, and we're also seeing carrying nothing with you, like traveling lightly, moving lightly. I also feel like wherever you're going, you're meant to plant seeds there. You don't have to stay there forever, but it does feel like you can plant your seeds and get started on this endeavor that you're pursuing there. And then you could eventually move somewhere else, but like you're meant to plant seeds there. And you're also meant to start there. That's why I was saying, even with this, I feel like you haven't really started yet. And the universe is intuitively drawing you to a place so you can finally get started on the thing that you want to do. Because it does feel like this thing, which again, we're going to talk about what you are meant to be doing, right? But whatever I'm sensing so far, it's like it's really a part of your purpose, and it just feels like it's not something that you can just do remotely. Like for example, my videos, right? Like me on my tarot channel, I can do this anywhere because it's remote and I'm talking to people internationally, and it's just like, you know, I can do this anywhere. But I feel like with whatever it is you're doing, you have to be in a set, physical set, specific place, such as Nashville. I keep using that as an example, but think about any other music hubs or any other like art hubs or creative hubs around the world. And I think you get the idea of what I am trying to say. I even feel like with the Eight of Cups, if we're not talking about creativity and just taking it a step back and broadening it even more, it's just unfulfilled energy. So no matter what you're doing, wherever you're living, you're very unfulfilled. You're realizing that you have outgrown the situation, you've outgrown the experiences or the opportunities, and you're just ready to start something new in a fresh new place, you know, with new people. And this expression is very strong for Group One. So if this is not like music or creativity, another way I could explain the expression that I'm sensing is like, say you're very flamboyant, or like you're part of the LGBTQ plus community. Very specific example, doesn't have to be for everyone, but just like kind of interpret it your own way, right? So say you want to dress a certain way and you're a part of a certain group, but then where you live right now, maybe you can't dress as flamboyant as you want to dress, or you can't dress how you want to express yourself. There's like this, you're not able to meet halfway to who you are and how your soul wants to express itself versus the physical environment that's right around you. So creativity can also be about just pure, authentic self-expression. So even if it's not a creative endeavor that you're trying to pursue, Spirit is saying you need to go somewhere where you can just be an authentic version of yourself and you don't have to hide. And I love that there's like nothing here with this Fool card. It's just a sack on its back and a pet. So it feels this, there's energy of like, don't take a lot with you, and also don't like take connections with you, especially if the people in your current environment are not like meant to come with you. You know, there's something about you have to go alone and you have to physically start over alone. And yeah. But what's interesting with this, it's like the way this Page of Pentacles energy is like holding, like almost like sleeping with that pentacle. And even this feels like the pentacle is in someone's hand already, like ready for them to do something with it. It feels like the power is already in your hands, but you are waiting on it. You're afraid to do it. You're, wanting to stay in a comfort zone. There's something on like, if you wanted to get started now, you could. I'm not seeing a lot of physical or external blockages. So I think that's something for you to think about as well. It's like, is the universe stopping you, or are you stopping yourself from getting to where you want to go? So if we're looking at zodiac signs, the Fool is Uranus energy, and that makes a lot of sense because Uranus is a very like, it's not destructive, but it's very like sudden. It's very like, you can't deny it. So I think these like intuitive hits are coming at you so hard that you just like cannot ignore it. You can't deny it. So we have Uranus here. The Eight of Cups is Pisces. So we have Saturn in Pisces. Oh, Saturn was just in Pisces because now Saturn is in Aries. But Saturn, I'm pretty sure, went retrograde in Pisces. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. So you could be going through a Saturn return right now. You could have Saturn in Aries, which I've been talking about Saturn returns a lot right now. Because I'm going through mine, and I've been talking about it because, so Saturn, if you have your Saturn in Aries, then you would have been born between 96 to 99. So you're going through a Saturn return. So that could be like that flame, the heat that has been turned up underneath you because you're realizing, oh my God, like I'm just getting older. I need to get out of here. I need to go and get started on something. So yeah, we have Saturn in Pisces here. This is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And then the Page of Pentacles is Earth energy. Yeah. It also feels like you could be very bored where you are right now. Okay, let's move on. That's kind of what I'm sensing. If we're looking at physical attributes, definitely sunny. I'm also seeing a lot of greenery. So a lot of plants, it's very green, gardens, but also there's a level of isolation. So I almost wonder if you're meant to like stay alone for a little bit, live alone, live on your own for a little bit. But I'm definitely seeing green, I'm seeing sunny, I'm seeing like very beautiful weather. I'm not seeing an ocean, so I don't think it's by a beach, but it could be by like some kind of a prominent river or some kind of a little pond or something like that. Okay, so now let's look at who do you belong with. So we know where you're meant to go. Who does group one truly belong with in their new endeavor, in their place? Who does group one truly belong with? I'm just going to take the one that flipped over. Virgo, integrity, reverence, and service. Didn't I just talk about Virgo, or am I going crazy? Oh, I think I talked about Virgo because of that. Okay, so with who, I actually really like this energy because I feel like the who is somebody that brings you out of your comfort zone. I feel like for group one, you could definitely get in your head and definitely, you seem like a fun person. You have this creative side, you have this extroverted side, but I think you get stuck in your head. And I think that the people around you that you're meant to be with is people that are going to help you bring you out of your comfort zone, but also help you with that structure. Because I think like you might fall into too much of having a structure to where you don't tap into that extroverted or creative or slightly, fun, impulsive energy. So it feels like you need somebody who's a good balance and who helps you come out of that comfort zone and make you feel comfortable, but at the same time they're not reckless. I feel like you couldn't be surrounded by like a super reckless or impulsive energy that like doesn't think about anything and just does things and doesn't think about the consequences. I feel like that's definitely not your person or your people. I think you need people that will keep you grounded, but not necessarily stuck in one place or stuck in that comfort zone. I think you need somebody who's going to help you come out of that comfort zone, but also at the same time help you stay grounded, like a good balance between the two, if that makes sense. Let's switch decks. Let's see. Can we clarify this Virgo energy with who? Who does group 1 truly belong with? Who does group 1 truly belong with? Knight of Materials. Wow, that's Virgo again. This is actually Venus in Virgo. So Virgo out here 3 times because this is Virgo, this is Virgo, this is Virgo, this is Venus in Virgo. That's crazy. Who does group 1 truly belong with? Wow, more Earth. 4 of Materials. That's 4 of Pentacles. That is Capricorn energy, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, that's the Sun in Capricorn. So here's a very, very specific astrological placement. Sun in Capricorn, Venus in Virgo. You or people that are meant to be in your life, they could also have Earth placements, maybe Virgo in 5th house, or Pisces in 5th house. But definitely a lot of Earth placements. And that's what I'm sensing here too, because there's 2 Earth placements here. It feels like you definitely need people around you that are going to help you stay disciplined and help you have that structure within your life. I think you really feed off of the people around you, group 1. And I think that whenever you're around a certain type of person, like say if they're reckless and crazy and impulsive, maybe that energy kind of bleeds onto you. And I feel like that makes you very anxious, and you don't like that. You don't like to be in that energy. It makes you very, very anxious. But then I think you do thrive when you have structure, you have people around you that are also structured and they're also disciplined, and that helps you feel a lot better. It helps you feel grounded in your life. Let me just get my cards out really quick. We have the Moon. Moon is Pisces. That's crazy. We have Pisces, and then the card right underneath it is also Pisces. Let's get one more card for with who does. Whoa. Okay, wow, that's really crazy because look at this, the 3 of Materials. So we already see like there's a sense of like-minded people. And the 3 of Pentacles is also talking about collaborators and networking and partnerships and working with people. There's a sense of teamwork. So I do think in this current scenario that we're seeing of where you truly belong, you really belong with people that are going to help you perfect your craft right now. But again, this definitely feels temporary. I think Spirit is saying to you, you don't have to be around these collaborators or learning from other people, working with other people. You don't have to have this teamwork forever. But right now in your life, they want you to find like-minded people in a place where there's going to be a lot of like-minded people, so you can learn from each other and they can help you grow. I also think this would help you come out of that comfort zone because you're able to collaborate or have other people there that are doing very similar things. And I think that is like what's going to help you really come out of that comfort zone. But it definitely feels very cool, calm, and collected. I mean, we literally have Pisces, and then we have so much Earth. So this is, again, Capricorn. This is Mars in Capricorn. You need visionaries around you because I think that, like, maybe you work better when somebody's helping you get something done, or somebody, like, gives you tasks, or there's something about, like, I need somebody to kind of, like, give me that nudge, and then I can get something done. But with this being Mars in Capricorn, you need to be around people that think and learn and move in their everyday life in the same way that you do. Like that same level of ambition, but not reckless, the same level of discipline, and the same level of consistency on a regular basis, but at the same time, people that you can also have fun with and help them, and they help you come out of your comfort zone. But structure seems very, very important to who you need to surround yourself by. Definitely success. I feel like you need to be around successful people. I think it's also for you to, like, for them to prove something to you. I think, again, with you being in that comfort zone, you overthinking or being anxious, you could just assume that like things are not going to work out for you, or like maybe you're not good enough for something, or something is unrealistic. But I think that when you witness somebody finding success, or you have friends and acquaintances that are successful, I think it almost proves to you and like helps you get more motivated, and helps you kind of like dismiss those negative thoughts, because it's like proven, like, oh, if this person is doing the exact same thing I did, we're just as good with what we do, and they were able to get to the top with that Nine of Pentacles, then I should be able to do it as well. There's something about surrounding yourself with successful people, because you feed off of the people around you, so that will help you kind of bounce off of them and also put yourself in a successful, motivating energy as well. But the Four of Pentacles here definitely feels very grounding. I do think you need a sense of community, especially if you do move to a new place. I think you will be much happier if you find like a solid group of friends, because there's a sense of like family or community that's very important to you. But obviously, you would be going somewhere on your own where you don't have family, but you find like a soul family, a like-minded group of people where it feels like family, so it feels like home, it feels comfortable, it feels like you have that foundation and like a family there. And I think that is also very important for you. It's interesting. This energy feels like a quiet crowd, but they have the same vision and the same ambition as you. I feel like, obviously, say if you are in like this music scene or whatever I've been talking about, and if you go somewhere, obviously there's going to be people that are in your face. There's going to be people that are going to say and act like they're better than you, and there's going to be people that are, bragging and just, kind of being in that mean girl, mean guy energy, or just kind of being snobby, or like rich people vibes. Like, I think obviously you're going to have that, but I think for you, you would succeed with like this very quiet group of people around you. Like, it's people that observe first before they react. It's people that are working hard on their craft every day, and they're not just out here bragging, and they're not just like putting on a show, but they're actually doing work to get something done. It's like they share the same expression as you, and they share the same vision as you, but they're not like in your face and annoying people. And you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like you definitely need like that quiet but sturdy group around you. Quiet but consistently getting work done and making progress. But we are all in our own zone, but we're not competing against each other. And I think that's really helpful with that community aspect for you. So I feel like that's who you truly belong with right now. This feels temporary, right? So I don't think this is like a forever thing, because I'm seeing like the friends that you make in this place, you can be friends with them for the rest of your life, but you're not going to have a physical like, you're not going to be around them physically forever. I think you could be around them physically maybe for a couple months, a couple years, but I think like everyone's path is going to take them on different ways. And then, so you kind of have to like move away from this tight knit community that you build, but you'll always have, you'll always be able to talk to them. They'll always be in your life. But I think you have a very limited physical time with them. And I think Spirit is saying to make the most of it. But I'm also seeing, for this specific scenario, I'm not seeing a romantic person. And I think for you, you're actually meant to build this foundation first, and then the romance comes in after this, when you kind of move away and you're leveling up, and then maybe then you find something more of a romantic situation. But yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and see doing what, which I think we kind of already know what you are truly meant to be doing, but let's go ahead and clarify with one card for group one. What are they truly meant to be doing? What is group one truly meant to be doing? We have Gemini, curiosity, intellect, and networking. kind of said that I think I literally used that exact word, networking, when I talked about this. So also somebody could have Virgo in the 5th house or Gemini in the 5th house, or any of the other placements I talked about. Somebody could have those exact placements or the 5th house, because that's the only house that has come up. I want to get the rest of my cards. So let's clarify Gemini. Oh wait, I'm using the wrong deck. Okay, let's clarify Gemini. Let's clarify Gemini, and let's clarify what is group 1 truly meant to be doing right now, or in this scenario, in their energy. What is group 1 truly meant to be doing in their life? Nine of Wands. And this looks like a little Instagram thing. It says 999 followers. And it says you, personal creator, dreamer, doer, almost there. And you have 3 images of 3 of Wands. Oh, I guess that makes up 9. Okay. You are definitely meant to have a high status. I think something about your 10th house is very significant here, and you could have some kind of a creative energy, or at least, or maybe even like Aries or Taurus energy in your 10th house. There's something about like you are meant to really have a status, and you're meant to have people look up to you, or you're meant to have people quite literally follow you. Let me get the rest of my cards. What is group 1? What is group 1 truly meant to do? Can we clarify what is group 1 truly meant to do? Wow, and you know what's so interesting is you guys chose the green. I just saw 333, so 333 on the timer. You guys chose green, which is the heart chakra. And I feel like that's what I was sensing in the very beginning, is that you are lacking that emotional fulfillment. So it feels like your heart chakra is empty. It is like there's nothing there, you know. And I think that's kind of sad. And I think especially if you're getting older and you are hitting the Saturn return era in your life, and like almost hitting your 30s, I think, or you know, at any age, just getting older, I think you're realizing like you've been emotionally unfulfilled, and you want to start doing something in your life that fulfills you emotionally. And I think your heart chakra is really calling out to you. I think your emotions and your heart, I think you have to really listen to it. And even with this being completely green, you know, up here, it's like that, even that feels like this is what I love to do. This is my heart being fulfilled. With this, and with this networking, curiosity, and intellect energy, this is Gemini. So this is about communication as well. This is Mercury energy. So this is, again, the voice. This is coming through either your mind or your throat. So again, our throat chakra seems very prominent here, and also our mind. So our the way we think, the way we write, the way we think of ideas, the way we learn, the way we network. I think all of that is very important to what you are meant to be doing. And it also feels like you have to take like that intellect of yours and that creative side of yours and kind of build something from that, or that intellect, but also that oh wait, like, what am I trying to say? Like that musically involved, or like that artistic. Let me clarify a little bit though. Let's get a few more cards. What is group 1 truly meant to be doing right now? What is group 1 truly meant to be doing? The High Priestess. That tells me that this is different for everybody. So maybe that's why I'm not getting a specific example, and I'm getting kind of brain fogged. So I would read this as like, it's whatever you want to do. Like the things that we have been talking about, the things that, you know, maybe your talents, your creative endeavors, the life you want to pursue, I think that is what you are meant to be doing. Because with that High Priestess, it's like whatever your intuition has been calling you to do, but it's going to be different for everyone watching because it is a general reading. Two of Swords. Oh, I'm hearing spirits say if you want to be anonymous, you can, because this person, you can't even see their face. So maybe there is something about just your voice or just your music, just your singing voice, your talking voice, or maybe just the art that you're creating. There's something here about like you can still have that network and the collaborations and have the like-minded people in the physical world, but if you want to remain anonymous online or sell your stuff anonymously or have a pseudonym or something like that, then that's okay. Like there's something here where you don't have to show all of you. You can select how much of yourself you want to show to the world, but you can still put your craft out there. I don't know if I want to take both. Let me just get one more card, please, for what is group 1 meant to be doing. Okay. The Magician. Look, even this person is like behind a computer too. I think with the Magician and the High Priestess here, I think you know exactly what you are meant to be doing. And I think that you could have prolonged it for a while for some of you. And I think Spirit is saying this is the sign for you to get started. We have social media here as well. So if you're any type of a creative or if you want to put yourself out there somehow, I think that, whether it's music, art, whether it's like an influencer vibe, whether it's modeling, I think anything that has a social media presence and that's something you want to do, I think you should definitely pursue it. But there's definitely something about like networking, because we have that here. And then we also have this laptop energy. We have like the energy of that tight-knit community. So I definitely think finding like-minded people is very important during this journey. This could even be writing. This could even be like coding or like IT for some of you, because I'm seeing this like coding situation with the letters and the numbers here. But I think Spirit is also encouraging you that you can stay as anonymous as you want. And there's definitely, your intuition is definitely calling you to do it, calling you to start something, starting this project, or getting yourself in the right environment to get started on this project. This environment also feels a little bit isolated. Did I say that earlier? So I'm seeing like a lot of land, a lot of nature. I'm seeing mountains. I'm even thinking about Colorado for some reason. Like there's something where you can be, it's not like a direct city. So even if it is like LA, it would be like way in the outskirts of the city. I feel like this physical location is not directly in the main city, or at least when you get started, it's not directly there, but yeah, I feel like a lot of this is talking about you coming out of your comfort zone. And I think you worry about long-term situations a lot. And I think Spirit is encouraging you to think about more of the temporary or the short term, or just think about today. You don't even have to think about, just think about like the next few days or the next week, and don't even think about the long term, because I think that's what gets you stuck, is you thinking about long-term possibilities and scenarios when it doesn't really matter right now. There's something like that coming through as well. But I do think with this High Priestess and the Magician, it's like whatever makes you feel empowered, whatever is truly aligned with you is what you are meant to be doing. So group number 1, that's what I'm seeing. I also have this other cute little deck here with some affirmations. So let's just get some affirmations for group 1. I hope that made sense. I think the what you're meant to be doing was the most vague out of all of them, but I think it's to each their own. So please interpret it however. This is Moon in Libra. Magician is Mercury energy, so that's Gemini Mercury coming out again. So definitely like typing, talking, Mercury traits seem significant. High Priestess is the Moon energy, so we literally have the Moon out here twice. So again, your intuition. And then the 9 of Wands is Sagittarius. It is the Moon in Sag. Oh my gosh. So we have the Moon 3 times, technically 4, because this is Moon in Libra. For some of you, this could be something you've even done in a previous lifetime, and you're being called to pursue it in this lifetime as well. Okay, we have Wild. There is a fire deep within you. Oh, no freaking way. I literally said this. sorry, I don't mean to yell. I literally said this earlier when I was like, there's something that you want to do and it like sparks a fire deep from your belly, and it literally says deep within your belly. Okay, let me start over. Wild. There is a fire deep within your belly, begging to be acknowledged, begging to be released. So, what is it then, dear one, that is holding you back? Go ahead, you're safe here. Throw your head back. Let the sound escape your lips. Let the sound escape your lips. That also sounds like you expressing yourself through your throat chakra. Find yourself dancing and singing. Oh my God. Moving and racing, breaking free. Feel the wind whip through your hair, your heartbeat within your chest. Feel the light pour into every cell of your body. Welcome it, become it. There is beauty in the untamed, dear one. Come dance with it. Wow. I think it's time that you pursue what your intuition is telling you to pursue, group one. That's crazy. That's like pretty much summed up everything I just said. We have redirect. It's a funny thing, life. We lay down these plans, we compile the list, but try as we may, we can never truly map out all the divine has in store for us. But what if we understood that what's divinely in store for us is often far better than anything we could ever concord on our own? And so it is with much grace and even more humility that we allow ourselves to be redirected, guided to all that is true for us. So you have wild, and there's a moon again. Anything else for group one? We have detox. Too often we see this word and we instantly think body, diet, movement. Do we ever stop and think about how we can cleanse our minds, our mental clutter, or what mental clutter we are hanging on to, perhaps unnecessary? Sister, if it doesn't spark joy in your mind, in your body, or in your soul, discard it. Just as we have the power to select the food we eat, we have the power to select our thoughts. Detoxifying our mind, body, and soul begins with one selected thought at a time. I love that. I feel like that really sums up everything I was trying to say, right? So group one, that is everything that I am seeing for you. I hope this was helpful, and please interpret however you want to interpret it to make sense for you, since this is a general reading, but I hope the overall energies kind of resonated with you. Thank you so much for being here and for all of your support. I'm literally hitting 40 minutes, so I'm gonna go now. But if you want to book a private reading, go ahead and email me. It's in the description. If you want to check out more exclusive content, I have a Patreon. It's in the description below. There are 2 separate tiers, so make sure you select, read it carefully to see which tier you want to join. But there's a ton of in-depth readings on Patreon. But thank you so much. Take good care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hey guys, if you chose this amethyst point with the Shadowscapes Tarot, the Cat Tarot, and the Star Spinner Tarot, I totally forgot. Yes, Star Spinner Tarot. This is your group. Hello, group number 2. So pretty much what we are doing today is we're going to be looking at where do you truly belong, with who, and doing what. I have 3 groups, and each group is going to talk about that specific topic. So for where do you truly belong, we're going to use the Shadowscapes deck. For the with who, we're going to be using the Cat Tarot deck. And then the doing what, we're going to be looking at the Star Spinner Tarot. Yes, so that is it. Pretty straightforward. We're just going to see what's going on with your energy. I will say group 1's energy felt a little bit temporary. So that felt more of like, okay, this is where you have to go next for the next phase of your life, but doesn't necessarily mean you're going to stay there forever. So I'm leaving that opportunity open for Spirit to talk to us if this is something that is going to be a more temporary situation that you are meant to do, or, in a temporary place with temporary people, or if this is something that is going to be more long-term for you, and this is like where you are really spending a good chunk of your life, So we'll kind of just break it up to see how Spirit wants to talk about the situations for you. But let me move these over in order. And I want to start off with our first deck here for the where do you truly belong. Okay, so yeah, and group 2, I forgot to say, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for clicking on our video, whether it's your first time here or if you have been here before. Thank you so much for tapping in, for sharing your energy with me, and for being here with us today. So let's get right into it. I have this really cute deck that I recently got. It is this Heavenly Body Astrology deck. Honestly, I've just started using this. This is my only second time because I used it for the first time ever in group 1, and I think it's very quickly become like my favorite astrology deck. I think like it's just so warm and so like cozy. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's something very like loving and just so safe with this deck. So I probably will use this a lot. I actually found this through somebody. I can't remember what it was, but there was someone who was like kind of selling metaphysical things, and I realized like she had never even opened this. Like this, it literally had that plastic wrap on it, and I think it was like on Facebook Marketplace. It had that plastic wrap on, and I was like, "You're selling that, and you've never even opened it?" And I got it for like half the price, you guys. So that's a win. But I really love it because it is so cool, and it was never even opened. I was like, okay. So let's go ahead and get started. What I'm doing with this, I forgot to explain. I got so carried away talking about the actual deck that I forgot to explain what we're doing with the deck. So this is going to show us just kind of like an overview of the energies, and I'm going to pull one for each group. So the first group, which is where do you truly belong, I'll pull one, and then we'll pull this. So it'll make sense once I get started. Okay. So for group number 2, where does group 2 truly belong? Where does group 2 truly belong? Group 2 with the color purple. I'll take this one that fell over. We have Uranus with radically change. Okay. I thought it was going to say radical change. Radically change. Okay, I have the guidebook here. Let's go ahead and see. Okay, I found it. So keywords: disruption, restructuring, breakthroughs, radical forward thinking, experiences, an awakening, sudden change, your inner truth, your quest for freedom. So it says, Uranus, the great awakener, says, open your mind to the realm of possibilities. What do you dream of doing and who you might become? This energy's got a kick like an electric current. Ooh, okay. Lightning. I'm just thinking about lightning or like shock, electric shock. Nervous excitement and even anxiety may surface as you feel the pull towards the radical shift, that itch for change, the desire for freedom and liberation. What are you yearning to adjust? Be deeply honest about what's working and what's not. Be radically open to something new. This energy is about allowing yourself the freedom to take up you-sized space in the world, and the kicker is you're boundless. Interesting. It says this destructive force pushes through the status quo and causes sudden change. It's a radical forward-thinking energy prompting revolution and restructuring breakthroughs. It sparks ideas ahead of their time, and the slow speed at which Uranus moves mimics the gradual progress of changing the collective mindset. It takes decades for earthly life to align with Uranus's reformist stirrings. This force is linked to inner truth, equality, and freedom. On a personal level, it inspires intellectual and spiritual awakenings that lead to profound life changes. On a collective level, it prompts energies in society that leads to the enhancement of human life. Before Uranus was found, Saturn was considered the edge of the solar system. The very discovery of this planet dismantled mankind's perspective of reality. That's interesting. So Uranus is Aquarius energy. Uranus is also the Fool. Radical change, my friend. Okay, then let's get into it. First, I want to get more information. I want to see for group 2, where does group 2 truly belong? For group 2, this is anywhere in the world, environmental traits, physical traits, anything. Where does group 2 truly belong in this world? Six of Cups. Ten of Swords. Queen of Wands. I love it. She's playing the harp. Where does group 2 truly belong? Wow, Knight of Wands. Oh, did I say Queen of Swords? This is Queen of Wands. That's interesting that I said if I said Queen of Swords. We have Knight of Wands. Okay, I feel like you're definitely, for some of you, you're definitely meant to like lead the collective. I don't know why it's coming through like that. Because again, you know, we're talking about this collective. Aquarius is very much about humanity and like the collective at large. So the community, masses, the people in the masses, and helping people in some way. But I'm hearing it's like you have to like teach the masses or like help them understand something, help them learn something, because this immediately made me think of the teacher and the student with that Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So I feel like part of your destiny with the collective is like to teach them something, to help them learn something, to help them learn about themselves, or to like physically help them somehow as well. And I feel like this is so interesting, right? We're talking about where, but I'm already getting like what you're meant to be doing. But there's also something here about like you can't conform to society. I think that you are not like a rule breaker, but you have to kind of like detach from what society is pulling you to do or what they are forcing you to do. It almost feels like you're meant to be above it. You're meant to fly above it. You're meant to like have your own willpower, your own force and determination. And that's like how you're helping or teaching others that are like down here to help them raise their vibrations in some way. I think oh my god, I think you could have had a major catalyst in your life recently, group 2, to where you started to realize, okay, like I have to do something so much bigger than what I ever thought was possible for myself, or help the collective, help the masses of the people, or really stand up for people. And I think in this day and age, we could use politics as an example. You know, this could be you're somehow, you know, educating the masses about the current state of the politics right now, or educating people, standing up for people, whether that's like peaceful protesting, whether that's like trying to get involved in politics or within the community, or you know, trying to help or change it in some way so you can stand up for what you believe in. You know, I could even talk about like being a lawyer in that sense, like the lawyer who stands up for the masses. This could even talk about like a doctor who is helping the masses, because you're helping multiple patients and you're helping people of that community. So there's something here with like community ties, and you're helping the masses in some way. And I think you're also teaching, because it feels like people look up to you. People take your advice seriously. They take your guidance seriously. And people also look up to you for like help or for support, in the sense of like, oh, I know group 2 will be there if I reach out to them for them to help me. That's very interesting. So this is supposed to talk about where I see you truly belong. I definitely see you in some kind of a big city. Obviously, we're talking about the community, talking about the masses. It feels like a big city environment where there are a lot of people, probably a lot of diversity, and that really helps you channel like what you feel into the outward world around you. But I'm definitely seeing people, I'm seeing like tall buildings, I'm seeing a lot of chatter, I'm hearing a lot of chatter, sorry, hearing like cars, honks. So I'm definitely getting like big city vibes. And I feel like you are somehow leveling up to help people, or that is what you're meant to be doing. You know, so we're really talking about like where you're meant to be and what you're meant to be doing. So it's like you're meant to somehow rise above the people to help those people that you are also, where you're also part of that community. Does that make sense? With the 6 of Cups here, we have the Sun in Scorpio. Okay, you could be a Scorpio Sun who has some Aquarius placements. The 10 of Swords is Gemini in Mercury. And then the Queen of Wands Pisces and Aries energy, Knight of Wands, Scorpio, Sagittarius energy. So we have Scorpio out here twice. Pisces, Scorpio, Gemini, and Mercury. There's something about your words. I feel like you're meant to use your words and your mind, but definitely like your speech. Because Mercury is about communication. And with Gemini being about the mental capacity, it feels like anxiety, right? And normally the Ten of Swords is a very anxiously driven energy. It's an energy of feeling defeated. So I feel like part of your purpose here in this lifetime is to like use your voice to stand up for people that are in that defeated energy. So I'm literally thinking about like this could totally be like that lawyer energy or standing up for the community in some way, but it's like you are meant to use your voice to help people that don't have a voice. Again, I'm not trying to be politically like, I'm not trying to talk about politics. I really don't like to get into politics. I'm even seeing, like, for example, the mayor, like the new mayor of New York, who kind of fits this description very, very well. I think, like, that's kind of the vibes I'm getting for you, group two. And it's interesting you chose the color purple because purple is the third eye chakra. And I feel that energy of you ascending. It's like you see the greater purpose of something. You understand the greater purpose of that community or of that state or of humanity or of a group of people. It's like you see it from a much different perspective, or you see like the higher truth of it and you want to help people get to that higher truth. You want to help people realize that higher purpose of something, or like something can be good for them, something is better than what it seems, something, or if something's not supposed to be a certain way, you're like trying to educate people. I don't know, that's so interesting, isn't it? The Six of Cups talks about familiarity. It can talk about your past, it can talk about childhood. This could be a cause that you felt since a very young age. Maybe like since you're a little a little kid, like this is a little child having a tea party with like her stuffed animals. So maybe even when you were younger, you felt this energy. Like for an example, when I was young, I used to like have a pretend classroom. I don't know why. I got like a whiteboard and there was nobody there. There was like literally stuffed animals. Sometimes the room was empty, like there was nothing or nobody in there, but I like pretended to teach math because I used to really love math growing up. So I would like pretend to teach math. And so, it could be something like that. Like you dreamt of this, you used to role play this when you were younger, and it's something that is turning out to be like your purpose. And I think this was somehow tied into your childhood or tied into your previous lifetimes, and that's why you've always had this intuitive hit ever since you were little. And I think when you were younger, it was like, oh, fun, like we're just gonna role play 11:11 on the time. But as you're getting older, you realize, wait, this is my purpose. This is actually what I want to do. This is what I want to stand up for. So say if it's not politics and it's not the masses, it could be a teacher. I think that's still helping people with communication. You're teaching something, you're helping people gain a better understanding or helping them learn a subject, and they are looking up to you. So definitely like kids, wanting to help kids, wanting to be a teacher, wanting to help the community at large could very well be a part of what you're truly meant to be doing. I know this is supposed to talk about like physical, where you're meant to be. So city vibes, I'm seeing a lot of diversity. I'm seeing like people of all different ethnicities and different races. I'm hearing a lot of chatter, like I said, very busy. There's a hustle and bustle to it, but you thrive in that hustle and that bustle. I also think with all of this mental energy that we see here, you have to be able to express yourself and stand up for yourself. And I think that maybe that's why you are meant to be in a bigger city environment, so you can truly express yourself and be who you want to be. Because it almost feels like maybe you had the same belief system, but you were shunned. You know, like say you did want to stand up for certain causes, for example, but you were living in a small-minded environment where everyone is a certain way and you couldn't stand up for what you wanted to do or what you believed in. And I think that caused a lot of mental conflict, because I feel like where you're truly meant to live on this earth is a place where you're mentally at peace. You're mentally like calm. You're able to just like wind down and like breathe out, and there's nothing weighing on you mentally. I think that's very, very important. But yeah, there's something about like either creating some kind of a movement within the community, within the masses, or helping the masses improve themselves in some way. I'm definitely seeing like student, teacher, mentor, or like acquaintances kind of an energy. Very interesting. I might come back to this. I think I kind of want to jump around and get like as much information as I can. So let's just move on to the second part of who are you meant to be with? So we're kind of getting an idea of what group two's energy is. So let's see. And this Uranus energy, I feel like you're very selfless, group two, because we're talking about this being that wake up call, that awakening, that something like a destructive energy that's falling apart so something better can take its place. But I feel like this is how you feel about the world around you or about the community around you. So it feels like you want to help as much as you can because you see that there are destructive forces or there are things that are not, you know, right, or that are not meant to be there. And it's like, I feel like this is not necessarily this awakening within yourself, but it's like you want the collective to have that awakening. You want the collective to become enlightened or for them to learn what they need to learn. You know what I mean? That radical change, I feel like you want to implement that within the community or the people or the masses around you or the classroom that you're in. You know, it's like you're trying to bring that change outward. So I feel like you're very selfless. You really like care about the people around you, and I feel like that takes a very specific type of person. So I would say automatically this already feels like a very specific energy for group two. So if it doesn't resonate with you, definitely check out a different group. But let's see, who does group two belong with? Who does group two currently belong with? And actually, you know what's so interesting? When I first sat here with this deck, this is the Cat Tarot, and this is about who you belong with, I immediately felt loyalty. I felt like there is one person. So I think this might be romantic, but it feels like there's one person who is like incredibly loyal, incredibly devoted to you, but this person respects your boundaries. And I'm saying that because I think on a regular basis, you like to be surrounded by people, or you work in this environment where there's a lot of people around you all the time. There's a lot of chatter. There's a lot of people, right? So I think you like to come home to a quiet energy. You like to come home to one person who is grounding, down to earth, who's very loyal to you, kind of like the cats, you know, like when we have cats, they're incredibly loyal. They respect our boundaries. They have their own boundaries, and they kind of just like are there for us to wind down the end of the day with. And I feel like that's kind of a person that you are seeking. And I think that makes sense because if you're surrounded by chatter all day, you don't want to go home to more chatter. You want to go home to that person where you can just wind down with that person. But let's see, who does group two truly belong with? Oh, wow. We have, look, we even have childhood again. The third house. We have early learning, childhood relations, the rational mind, and communication. So you have Uranus with that radical change that we're talking about. We have communication and even childhood relations. And even that early learning feels like little kids, doesn't it? Like you're molding the minds of the next generation. The third house is also about like your immediate community, your immediate surroundings, which makes sense because we were talking about your immediate community. Okay, that's really crazy actually. So now I need to whip out this book again because we were just talking about you wanting to do something with your immediate community. Okay, look. It says, can you recall a time you felt scared to speak up or even silenced? Revisit this memory and with the wisdom and conviction of your highest self, tell the little you inside your voice matters. Someone may be a natural extrovert, speaking freely in front of many, while others may be more introverted, preferring one-on-one conversations and intimate speaking. Whether it's loud and from the mountaintops or quiet on the pages of a journal, express yourself without inhibition. Get to know your voice and let yourself be heard. It's okay if it lands on deaf ears. It's okay if it isn't well received. It's okay to disappoint, disarm, or disillusion. What matters most is you let your voice be heard. That is so crazy because that's everything we're literally talking about. We have mentality, the rational mind, communication, skills, networking, early learning, exploration through local surroundings. Yeah, your immediate community, that's what I was saying. Experience of siblings and or childhood relations. Okay, I definitely think you're meant to use your voice with your immediate surroundings somehow. That's why it doesn't feel like this is, maybe for some of you this is something online, but I think for a lot of you it is in a physical space, which is why I was getting that city vibe, or like I'm getting a physical structural environment. So like, you know what I mean, like an actual city, a town, a building that you go to on a regular basis. So that would be like a classroom. Maybe again, if we're talking about politics, maybe it's something political, but it's like a building. I don't think this is online. It could be, but I really feel like you have human interactions with people on like all day, every day. I don't think it's like you're sitting at home behind a computer. I don't think you're like on a podcast talking to people where you're not immediately in front of them. But I think you're like physically have to be there, such as with a classroom. Okay, let's get into some more energies here. I think your energies are kind of mixed up. We're talking about a little bit of everything for each group, but that's okay. Let's see, who is group 2 truly meant to be with? Oh, that's a lot. Who is group 2 truly meant to be with? Someone goofy, silly, head in the toilet, silly kitty. Page of Cups is also very loving energy. That makes sense. I think especially when you are in like a high stakes physical environment all day, or like chatter, you're around a bunch of loud kids, a bunch of people arguing all day, people debating all day. I think you want to come home. There's a sense of like, this is you, who you're coming home to. Even this, it's like two birds, you know, it's like the sense of like, we have our own nest. It's just the two of us. But it feels like you want to come home to a very silly, goofy energy, somebody who can make you laugh and help you forget about the chaotic day that you might have had. The Page of Cups is also a very sweet energy. So let me get more cards here. Queen of Pentacles. Ooh, I like that. Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. I really like that. Let me get more cards before I say what I want to say about that. Who is group 2 truly meant to be with? Ooh, King of Wands. Queen of Wands, King of Wands. So you have a pair of a masculine and feminine energy. So that again feels like partnership. The Hermit. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That is what I mean. Okay. So really quickly for zodiac signs, we have Virgo. Okay, so we have Virgo, like I said, and then this is Cancer, Leo. This is Cancer and Leo. Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn and Sag. So we have Virgo, Cancer and Leo, Capricorn and Sag, and then we have water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So Cancer is out here twice. Okay, and also these could be in anywhere in the 3rd house. You could also have Uranus in the 3rd house, which I guess that, yeah, that would make sense. But also one of these could also be in your 3rd house. Okay, so what I was saying that got me really excited is I feel like the person you're meant to be with, this is definitely coming through as a romantic partner, and it feels like somebody who is very supportive of what you do. You know, I'm going back to the mayor scenario, the new mayor of New York and like his wife. I'm going back to that scenario because it feels like you need a very supportive partner to be able to let you do what you do without feeling jealous of you, without feeling intimidated by you, and really standing by your side and like really believing in you and trusting in your work, especially if it's work within the community or working with people, and you are trying to like get your voice heard. You need somebody who's really going to be able to trust you and stand by your side. And it feels like a power couple vibes. It feels like this very supportive dynamic that you are meant to have with somebody. With the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands, that is what's making me think that there is this counterpart energy. But I do think that you are more feminine. I think you are the feminine energy, and your person who you're meant to be with is the masculine energy. I think that this is somebody who's going to let you shine in your light with that Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. This is somebody who's going to let you do your thing. They're not going to get in the way, and they're not going to try to dim your light. They're going to let you stand in your power on an everyday basis and do what you have to do, but they're there for you to stand by your side. With the Hermit here, this really feels like that just the two of us energy. Excuse me, that two of us energy. It's just us at home. We come home to a quiet home. We come home and we wind down. You know, I'm going to support you when you're in front of people or when you're speaking up for what you believe in, but I'll also be there for you when we just want to wind down and have a quiet day at home. So this really feels like a very down-to-earth, humble dynamic, but somebody who doesn't add to the chaos in your life, somebody who really allows you to shine and come home and will cuddle you and give you that love and nurturing energy that you need. Because it feels like on a day-to-day basis, you give so much of yourself to where your energy is just depleted day to day. So you need to come home to somebody who's going to recharge you and give you some energy back to fill you up with love when you are filling so many other people up with love and hope or inspiration on a regular basis. It's like they are there to fill you up with love at the end of the day. I think this person is also funny. I think that you definitely need somebody who's going to make you laugh and you know, and help you come out of that serious mood, but this feels like, I mean, this person puts you on a pedestal, like you are sitting on the throne. This person is so infatuated with you. They are so just in awe by your strength, your determination, your confidence, maybe even your voice. Maybe for some of you, this person is attracted to, like, maybe that's how you meet, like they're attracted to how you sound or what you have to say, but it's just like they literally view you as this queen and they put you on this pedestal, and they will, like, I don't want to say they're there to serve you, but that's like the funny, I feel like this person could joke and they're like, I'm here at your service, you know, or like, I don't know, I feel like they're here to not like serve you as if like you hired someone to serve you, but they're here to serve you in all the ways that really matters, in the most genuine and loving way. So for some of you, you could have known them since you were a little kid, because we do get this message of childhood twice. Even the page is a child energy. So you could have kids with this person. If you do have kids or want kids, I think this person would really support your career path, and maybe they would stay home with the child. There's something here about like you are, even though you feel feminine, you are coming through as maybe more of that masculine energy when it comes to work or what you're standing up for, and they are okay to like stay at home and be more passive. And like if you have kids, maybe they would be okay to take care of your kids. But I think ideally you need to be with somebody that sees the vision. They see what you're doing and they support it. And I think you're also like an all or nothing kind of a person. So if somebody has some of the traits that you want, but they're not 100% what you want, I don't think you would entertain it. So I think this person would be that everything. They have all the qualities you're looking for in a person, in a partner. So this feels very specific about a relationship that you are meant to have during this time in your life. And they really support that, you know. Now now let's see, doing what? I feel like that's all we've talked about up until now is what are we doing? But I also see with this person, I see you having a physical house with this person. I see like a really cute little home, like nothing too big, too flashy, something very intimate. But I feel like you have a lot of your you put a lot of love into this home. So it's like every room is a reflection of your life together, of your love together. It's like you really created a sanctuary that you both come home to at the end of the day. And it's like this very beautiful space, a very beautiful energy that you have like cultivated with this person in this home. And I think, you know, you probably stay at home often. You probably just want to be at home, especially if you are somehow in the public eye or if you do spend a lot of time with people. I think you both are just like nesters. Like this bird, the birds here, it's making me think of like, I just want to go and stay in my nest all day. You know, if this is my day off, I just want to stay in bed all day. I just want to be with you, but stay in the nest all day. So I think you have a very loving dynamic with this partner. Okay, so now let's see, what is group 2 meant to be doing? It would be crazy if we got an Aquarius card, but we'll see. What is group 2 meant to be doing? Neptune. Wow. We have dream and transcend. This is actually Pisces energy too. So we have Aquarius energy, we have Pisces energy coming out. Aquarius is Uranus. Okay, let's get into the third deck now and let's see, let's clarify what is group 2 meant to be doing. What is group 2 meant to be doing? You're really meant to build some kind of an empire for yourself. You're meant to have status. I also think with Neptune here, this is really interesting because Neptune is making me think of diversity. And it's making me think of like, it's not set in stone. You could like, it's like a chameleon. This Neptune energy, it's like you can morph into anything. You can morph into any kind of a personality, or you can connect with any kind of person because you can like absorb their personality somehow. And I feel like with Neptune in the third house, which is about communication and your immediate community, it makes sense that like you're very relatable. You're very likable to a lot of different people that you might speak to or interact with or, you know, stand up for in some way, because you're very likable. You're very like, I'm not saying you are this chameleon, but it's like different people from different ethnicities, different backgrounds, they all feel so relatable to you. They all like you. They feel like you get them. You know, they feel like you are one of them in some way. There's something very fluid about your personality where you can be a little bit of everything. Guys, I just keep thinking about the mayor from New York. I don't know if that is significant to you somehow. I don't know if you live in New York. I don't know if you're going into politics, if you're going into the legal field to like stand up for things that you believe in, but I just really feel like everything I'm describing comes back to like somebody like him, somebody like that, whether you are masculine or feminine. But let me just see, what is group 2 meant to be doing? King of Cups. There's a dragon on here. That could be significant for somebody. Group number 2. What are they meant to be doing? Oh, wow. The Wheel of Fortune with the Wheel of Fate. Seven of Wands. Wow. Okay. What is group 2 meant to be doing? Eight of Wands. Oh my gosh. So Eight of Wands is Sagittarius. It's Mercury in Sagittarius. So there is so much Mercury energy coming up here. So again, communication, throat chakra. And Sagittarius is a worldwide energy. It is a very philosophical energy, but it's also about the world. You know, it's about different people, different cultures, different backgrounds. it's a very large picture. It's Jupiter, it's expansive. And even the 7 of Wands, it felt like you're fighting for something, you're standing up for something, you are speaking up for something, you're standing your ground. The 7 of Wands can be a little intense, but it's like you're in a fight. But I think in this scenario you choose to stand up for something, so it's like you're choosing to be in that, I don't want to say fight because that sounds harsh, but it's like you're choosing to be in that energy. You're choosing to, but it's like you're choosing to stand up for others in that way, or stand up for what you believe in that way. But I definitely think, again, I'm sounding like a broken record, but I do think to some extent there are people you're standing up for. I also think with all the communication, I think a lawyer would also be like a great example, or like speech and debate, or even like a judge, or like something where you're like speaking on behalf of somebody. That seems very significant as well. This is Mars in Leo specifically. So that you can see where that intense energy comes from with that Mars in Leo. It's an energy of like, I'm not going to back down. You know, it's like this could hit the ceiling. I'm not going to back down because I'm going to stand my ground and I'm going to stand up for what I have to say or what I have to believe in. And I think that's why a lot of people could admire you and look up to you, because not only are you so genuine, and this is coming from a place of love, even with that King of Cups, with that Neptune energy, the King of Cups. Let me look up what it says for Neptune, because I really love this book. And I kind of forgot to look up some of the meanings in group 1. All right, slight intermission. Neptune, where are you? Oh, there it is. Okay, Neptune, empathy, surrender, art, music, inspiration, illusion, smoke in mirrors, oneness, transcendence, dream, escapism, illness, spiritual lessons. The great dissolver relieves how thin the veil truly is between worlds. Reality is more psychedelic than your 5 senses allow you to believe. Your angels invite you to get lost in your imagination with the wonder of a child. There's this energy of a child again. With curiosity, explore energy work and spiritual modalities. Deepen your connection to the divine. Engage in acts of selfless service. Hello. We just talked about that. I literally used the word selfless to describe you. And feel your interconnectedness. The ethereal realms communicate through your subconscious, so honor your dreams and write them down before they're lost in daylight. Let their images and meanings percolate. Extract wisdom and inspiration from these experiences. They will support you in living more deeply. Okay. I think that I'm definitely repeating a lot of things, but that's crazy that for all 3 of these cards, I feel like the book and like the energies has really talked about, it's like really reassured me in this reading that I am channeling the right energy. I think this is a very specific energy, so it probably isn't for everyone. If it doesn't resonate with you, please check out a different group. You know, not everyone can be the mayor of New York, so it's like, I get it. It's a very specific energy, but what I love with the King of Cups here is this shows emotional intelligence, but this also shows genuine love. So it's like whatever you're doing, whatever you're speaking up for, you genuinely love that craft, or you love that topic, or you love the people that you are serving. And it's coming through from your heart. And I love that the Wheel of Fortune is here, which is fate and destiny, and you know, it's happening for you and you can't really predict it or control it. You're going with it. And I think in group 2 scenario, your intuition has been calling you to serve in this manner for a very long time. For some of you, if this is not about like politics and all this like 3D aspects, this could even be about spirituality. You know, this could be about you connecting with your community through spirituality, connecting through your neighborhood or like-minded people. This could even be church. This could be about religion. You know, this is just something that you feel like you have to speak up and share this with people and help teach this subject to people. So it can literally be so many things on so many different levels, but it is like woven into your destiny, so you can't like avoid this. And I think that's why we started off with that destructive energy, because I think I guess you are awakening to this. If you haven't realized this about yourself, or you have realized it but you haven't pursued it yet, I think, like, especially with the state of the world right now, with a lot of things going on, I think you're realizing, okay, I need to do something. You know, I'm thinking of the quote from Gandhi of "Be the change you wish to see in the world." So I think you could be waking up to that kind of a mindset recently, which helps you get into this energy. But yeah, this feels very faded. It also feels like maybe that's why they're not giving us too much information, but it's definitely something your intuition has been picking up on for a long time, and this is what you're meant to be doing. And even this with the people, right? It's like you have that immediate home with your partner, but you're really, really connected to the masses in some way. But I am seeing this physically with the masses. I guess for some of you, it could be over the internet, it could be a podcast, it could be videos. But I think for a lot of you, it's a physical thing that you have with the masses. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. Group 2, very, very specific energy. So I do have this little oracle deck here. Let's get some advice for group 2. Okay, breathe. Beautiful one, you are here. Take a deep breath in and allow your entire body to simply be. Amidst the noise, amidst the chaos, amidst the confusion that is the outside world, a steady peace has been here with you all along, right inside your very being, just waiting for you to discover its power and the strength it holds within you. When was the last time you allowed yourself to notice the way your chest rises and fills with each inhale? The way it releases and softens with each exhale. Notice it, gorgeous one. It is your greatest power. So accessible, yet so often and easily overlooked. Wasn't that we kind of talked about like your mental health, finding peace. You're meant to live in a place where you don't have mental conflict. Let's get advice for group 2. Begin. You can always begin, no matter where you are, no matter where you have been, no matter where it is you have to go, no matter where it is you have yet to go. There is no backward, only forward, only trusting that now is a good time as any to pay attention to the little whisper inside of your heart. It's begging you to take the first step, my dear. It's begging you to begin. Beautiful one, please remember, it is always the right time to start. I feel like that also makes a lot of sense with like you waking up to this realization and you getting started with it. Also, B, because we have breathe and begin. B could be a specific initial for somebody. Oh my. Abundance. True abundance, my love, is not just about money. True abundance is about recognizing with grace and humility what has already been sent your way. Abundant in life, abundant in love, abundant in movement, abundant in the almond milk latte your coworker brought you this morning. Start to appreciate the ways in which you are already so looked after. Start to build wealth in the little things, and you will find the rest comes easy. Okay, group number 2. I think that's everything I'm seeing for you. I hope this was helpful, or I hope it gave you some clarity or clarification or some confirmation or reassurance about anything that we talked about. I think this was a very specific energy, so don't force it to fit. But if it does sound like you, then definitely, I'm happy to help. But thank you guys. And if you're interested in a private reading, go ahead and email me. My email is in the description. We can book a one-on-one reading. And I also have a Patreon. If you're interested in exclusive content, go ahead and check that out. That is also linked in the description below. But thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye, guys. Hey, guys. If you chose the smoky quartz cluster and the black cards, this is your group. Hello, group number 3. I'm going to set your crystal there. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you for all of your support here on my channel. whether it's your first time here or if you have been here before. Thank you so much for clicking on this and for joining us for group 3. So pretty much like I said in the intro, we're going to be looking at where do you truly belong, with who, doing what. So I'm going to use 3 different decks to answer the 3 different parts of the reading. This is going to talk about where in the world, so like locations or anything like that we can get. This is going to be the with who do you truly belong, and this is going to be the doing what. So yeah, it'll make more sense as I kind of go through it, but that's what we're talking about. It's very straightforward, and I'm using these decks. So thank you guys so much for being here. And so this is the Lightseers deck. This is the Glow in the Dark Black and White Rider-Waite deck, and this is the Mystic Monday Tarot. So for now, I'm just going to move these to the side and just pull them out in order. Also, there were a few messages coming through as I sat down for group 3. So this could be some confirmation for some of you. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. So I was getting millennials. So if you are a millennial, I was just picking up on millennials and Vine. So like the social media Vine from like way back when. I don't know if you were on it or if you were like, you know what I mean? I don't know, something about Vine and millennials is coming through. So that could resonate with you, maybe it doesn't. And I also feel like for some of you, you don't have social media right now, like you don't have TikTok or like these kinds of apps, and I feel like, but you know Vine, you know what I mean? Like there's something like you're not really keeping up because you're kind of like older to keep up with like this current social media trends, but like you kind of remember what social media was like when you were younger. There's something about social media coming through, I don't know why. So that doesn't have to resonate because I don't know how many millennials are even in my demographic of viewers. So, I mean, just a little message, but let's get started. So I actually have this deck I made. Okay, there we go. So I actually have this deck here, and this is going to kind of give us just a little bit of the energies of what we're talking about. So I'm going to pull one card from this for each group that we talk about, and then I will use the tarot to clarify what this is. But this will just kind of give us a little bit more added information. So let's get right into it for group number 3. So first, let's see, where does group 3... Let's see, where does group 3 truly belong? For group 3, that chose the smoky quartz cluster and the color black. Where does group 3... I'm also hearing Harry Potter, and specifically Snape from Harry Potter, but maybe you grew up in that era where the Harry Potter books were coming out, so you were able to actually like read them as they were being published. Let's see, where does group 3 truly belong? Group 3 that chose the smoky quartz. Where does group 3 truly belong? Ooh, Capricorn. Took a while, you know, but that kind of makes sense. Capricorn is Earth. Earth is a slower energy. So we have Capricorn, and it's interesting we have this hourglass. So it says ambition, realism, and methodical steps. Something about that hourglass, like time is running out. Huh. For some of you, maybe there's something you want to do or there's a place you want to go, but you've been postponing it. And Spirit is saying time is running out, because this is specifically the category of where do you truly belong. So maybe you want to go somewhere, but you're like waiting. I'm hearing you're waiting on external circumstances to align with your plans, but it almost feels like maybe the external circumstances are not going to align and you're actually losing time as you're waiting on that alignment, because it feels like you have to create the alignment for yourself. That's interesting. So you could be a Capricorn sun, moon, rising. Capricorn could be in your big 3. I'm specifically hearing Mercury in Capricorn as well for some of you. But let's get some more information on what's going on, because Capricorn is very realistic. Capricorn, it's like, okay, I'm going to take it one day at a time. We're going to lay out the steps, lay out the plans. I'm not going to be impulsive. I'm not going to be rushing it, but I need a practical plan. I need a realistic plan. And maybe like wherever you're trying to go, it's like you keep telling yourself like this is not realistic, and you're like waiting on the time to become realistic or practical, quote unquote, but it's like it's not getting there. And you're actually losing time while you're waiting on it to become a realistic plan. Let's see. Let's clarify. Where does group 3 truly belong? Wow, Queen of Pentacles. Immediately I'm thinking of a baddie. Oh my gosh. So I will say again, this is funny, right? I keep thinking about the demographic of my audience for some reason in this group. And I will say I'm pretty sure like 95% of my viewers are women, or at least their YouTube accounts are registered to women, because that's how YouTube gives me my analytics. So I'm just getting total divine feminine baddie. Oh my gosh, the Queen of Pentacles. Lots of earth, because this is also earth. This is specifically Capricorn again. So this is actually Sagittarius and Capricorn. So you have Cap out here twice. You could have Sag and Cap in your chart, maybe even in your big three. That's really specific, like a Capricorn moon, Sag rising, Sag moon, Cap rising. So, okay, Three of Pentacles. Let me get all my cards out. Wow, Three of Pentacles. And as I held this up to the camera, it was 0303. Let me get my cards out and then I will talk about it. I just don't want to get ahead of myself. Okay, so where does group 3 truly belong? Ooh, the Emperor. Where does group 3 truly belong? Wow, okay, the Lovers. Very interesting energy. So let's talk about signs really quick. So this is Sag and Capricorn. Emperor is Aries. Gemini, yeah, Lovers is Gemini. And then the Three of Pentacles is actually Mars and Capricorn. So you have Capricorn out here 3 times. And I saw 0303 on the time. So the number 3 or things happening in threes could be significant for, oh my God, and you're group 3. Whoa, that's crazy. That's an interesting synchronicity, because I was about to say, like, you could get your blessings in threes. You know, say like things are stagnant and you're kind of just working, waiting, and maybe things are taking a while to manifest in your reality, but then it happens like 1, 2, 3, like 3 things happening very quickly, and then maybe it goes stagnant again for a while, and then 3 things happening very quickly again. There's something about the number 3. Also, March could be significant, because that is a 3rd month. I just saw 444. I think numbers are definitely huge for you. I think that's exactly how Spirit communicates with you. This Lovers is interesting. Some of you could be in a long distance relationship, because there's a sense of like, I'm longing for somebody. So either in your physical environment, you have a partner, but you're long distance with this person. So you're not able to see them on a regular basis, and you are longing for their physical touch, you're longing for them to be physical in your 3D reality. But then for others of you, it's like you don't have a partner yet, and there's some like subconscious energy going on about a partnership, and you want to be where that partner is. So whether you have a person or you don't, I do think intuitively you're picking up something, and I think a specific location that you are intuitively drawn to, maybe even just out of nowhere, or maybe it's been building that you've been thinking about this location for a while. I think there's a very special connection there that you are meant to be a part of. And I think that's a reason that you are being drawn there, especially here, because we see a divine feminine and we see a divine masculine energy. And it's interesting because they're not looking at each other either. So there is this energy of like these two people, you know, their energies are lingering with each other, but they're not seeing who it is. They're not able to like pinpoint where that energy is coming from, but there's something about a location that will bring the two of you together, or like this location is going to help you overlap in some way. Maybe for some of you, you're already in the location, because what I'm hearing is like spirit is keeping you stagnant, or they're drawing you to a specific place because of a relationship. So the two ways that I can interpret this is, for some of you, say you feel stuck, you know, quote unquote, I've been stuck in this town for years, for months, for years, and I just want to get out of here. And you know, and I think you could even question from time to time, like, why is the universe keeping me here? Why do I feel like I can't leave? And maybe it's because there is a person that the universe is also trying to bring to this said town, so you can eventually meet them in the middle, and then that like releases you, and then you can kind of leave. There's something about meeting somebody in the middle, and I think a lot of this has to do with a romantic connection. But then for others of you, say if there is a location that is calling you, especially if you feel like you know you want to go there, but you feel like you're not, the right time is not coming in, and you're like almost wasting time, losing time, because you're waiting on the stars to align. I think for those of you, if you have a set place in mind that you could easily go to, I think that's how you can differentiate. Because if you have a place, I think you could easily go, but it's almost like your brain, your logical side is telling you don't do it. But I think there could be a place that's already actively open for you, and you're being called there because of a partner. That's really interesting. And there's a lot of work, like something about where you truly belong. It's really revolving around work. And for some of you, okay, this is what I'm sensing so far. You're very close to achieving something in your current environment. Because with the Queen of Pentacles here and the Three of Pentacles, it feels like this is a temporary situation. But you are meant to be exactly where you are right now. Because with the Queen of Pentacles, this is somebody who has worked very hard. This is somebody who has evolved mentally, emotionally, financially, but this is somebody who doesn't overdo it. The Queen of Pentacles, she is the number one priority to herself. She doesn't overdo work. She doesn't burn out. She doesn't, you know, she doesn't overdo anything. It's literally like, okay, I'm the number one priority. I have these goals and I'm going to get things done. But to some extent, it feels like you are comfortable in your current environment. So if there is a, like, how do I explain this? It could be that you're physically, financially, even career-wise, you could be comfortable, or even with school, whatever it is you're doing on a regular basis, you are comfortable in your physical environment. Even the Emperor, I think I'm talking to both parties here. I think that since we have masculine and feminine, I think you could resonate with the Queen, or I think your divine counterpart is also watching this, or is, you know, I'm channeling them as well as this Emperor. Both parties are comfortable in their physical environment, but maybe for the Queen of Pentacles, there is a sense of boredom, or there's a sense of like, I want to do something different, or I want change, or it's like, I'm just kind of bored because I've been kind of doing the same thing. Okay, this is so crazy specific, but it feels like the Emperor masculine energy is comfortable to stay in their current environment. And I think you guys happen to be in your current in the same environment. I'm seeing a radius, like I think you're in the same radius of each other. And for the Emperor, they just got a raise or a promotion, or they signed a contract, or there's something to where they're like, checkmate. You know, for them, they're like, okay, I'm happy to be here because I have expanded. I have won something. I am going to the next level of something. So I want to be here. But I think for the Queen of Pentacles, she's already sitting at the top of her success, or of her independence, her privacy. And I think she is the one that's getting a little bit bored. But I think Spirit is speaking to definitely to the Queen of Pentacles here, but I think for both masculine or feminine, Spirit is saying something is happening very soon. The hourglass is almost empty. Like it's almost, that transition time is almost over. So, and it's interesting that we actually have a card that is separating the two. So it looks like, you know, single, card separating the both of your energies, another single person, but then by the time the hourglass runs out, then you're together like this. It's so interesting the way it played out. I just saw 1111 on the time. So it does feel like both of you are stationed in your current place because of work. And I think Spirit wants you to have an affirmation, because Spirit is saying to you, group 3, you're not stuck, you're stationed. You're not stuck here, you know, especially if you want to leave, you're not stuck. Your feet are not glued to the ground, but you're stationed. Just like people are stationed in places for temporary reasons, you're stationed in your current environment, even if you're ready to go. And that time is almost up for something to happen, because clearly something has been brewing in the background. And I do think it's like two individuals coming together. So this is a very unique energy, because I haven't had this happen with the other groups, but it feels like you are exactly where you are meant to be right now. Wherever you're living in the world, you're exactly where you're meant to be, and you're going to see why very soon. And I think that initial energy that I felt of like time is running out, I almost think that is your 3D self. That is your, you know, that is like the worry within you. That's your anxiety. That's your human feelings and human logic that is causing you to be anxious, saying, oh my God, I'm running out of time. I need to get out of here. I'm running out of time. But the longer I sit with this energy, Spirit is actually saying, no, time is almost up, because something's about to happen. And you're exactly where you're meant to be in the 3D. I'm seeing different physical locations like this. You know, it feels like very green. I'm seeing like nature, trees, like beautiful weather, beautiful environment, countryside vibes, forest vibes, but here I'm seeing something very hot and dry, like a desert, or even like somewhere along the equator. So I'm seeing a lot of random physical places. Nothing specific is coming through, and I think that's why Spirit is saying for group 3, at least right now, this feels temporary though, because it's not forever. That hourglass is not going to go on forever. But in your temporary situation, you're exactly where you're meant to be right now in your current energy, because the universe is brewing something specifically to your love life. And the moment there is some union here, then the universe is like, then they unlock that, then you're not stationed there anymore. Then you can do whatever you want to do after that. You know, maybe you could stay if you want to be with them, but it feels like for some reason the masculine energy will stay here, because they just did something with that chess piece right here, and that checkmate energy. It's like they just did something that's going to keep them here a little bit longer. So I think, but you know, when you're not stationed anymore, you could decide, okay, maybe I want to be with this person and stay here longer. Maybe we're going to try long distance, because I am sensing some long distance for you. So for those of you, if you are in a long distance relationship, I think that you are in the right place at the right time. And I think for you, when that hourglass is, when this time runs out, then there is that physical union that's happening. I think that you could try to get to them sooner, you could try to move in with them sooner, but there could be restrictions and redirections, because things are playing out in a very specific timeline. And even if you know them, you're actively in a relationship with them, long distance relationship, you keep getting shut out from the universe on trying to live together or move in together, be together physically, because the time it's not the right time yet. So even for those of you, you're in the right place at the right time. Ooh, I like this energy. This is heavily, it's interesting, because for the other two groups that I've done so far, the energy was heavily around like career and like your own personal path. But this energy seems like both of you are already doing really well in your career. Both of you are evolved. These are high level divine energies. This is not a child. This is not, I'm healing, I'm transforming, I'm little. Like this is like at the top. You're both sitting on your throne at the very top. So it feels like you're already doing great in career. You're already doing great in a lot of things. And the one thing that could be lacking in your life is this partnership with somebody. I also think with your Capricorn, you know, your logical mindset, I think even a Scorpio is coming through. Like Scorpios are very skeptical. They're so intuitive, but they're so skeptical. And I say that because I'm a Scorpio. So I'm a Scorpio sun. But yeah, very, I'm just getting like, even though you're seeing signs that something is brewing, you're still very skeptical about it, or your logical mind is causing you to like not believe in something because you're very skeptical about it, even if the universe is literally giving you signs and synchronicities. So, okay, so we're not getting a physical place, but you are exactly where you're meant to be. And there's an energy of just keep doing what you're doing, you know? So, and I think this is work or everyday life, but this is specifically about work, right? And, you know, networking and friends and just kind of like your everyday life. Just continue doing what you're doing because there's stuff happening in the background and you're not meant to interfere with it. It's just meant to come into your life when the time is right. I will say if this doesn't resonate with you already, then definitely check out a different group because I think we're going to be building off of this energy. So let's now see, who does group 3 belong with? I feel like that's all we've been talking about is a who. So I'm curious to see, who does group 3 belong with? Who is this person? Oh my God, get out of here. The 7th house, the house of partnerships and commitment and Venus. Are you kidding me? Profound relationships, intimacy, and romantic partners. Yeah, I mean, come on. Come on. We can't even get, we can't deny it, right? So now I think this is absolutely the time for those of you, if you don't resonate with this being about a soulmate or a counterpart, 7th house, partnership, commitment, I think you should definitely check out a different group because again, I think that's where we're going. And I love to see the confirmation from spirit about this. So we have the lovers and we have the 7th house. I mean, the 7th house. Okay, also, for some of you, if your north node is in the 7th house, that is a confirmation for you. Because I know for some, the north node shifted January 11th, which is actually 111. So I'm pretty sure that if your north node shifted into the 7th house, then you've been sensing this energy heavily since January. You could have been feeling it before then, but now your north node could also be in the 5th house because that's also about like romance and, you know, that. But definitely like 5th house or 7th house energy. I think you're finally meeting them. You're finally like getting into alignment with that partner, with that soulmate. And I think the nodes have, you know, like the astrological placements have finally shifted for you to where this is what you're seeking now. Wow. So I think, again, even that radius energy that I was sensing. So I think this is a huge confirmation with the 7th house out here that for those of you, if you're intuitively like feeling stuck, quote unquote, and you're not stuck, you're stationed. But if you're intuitively feeling like, you know, I've been here for a long time, I wonder why, like, what is the universe doing? But then you're also intuitively picking up on a partner, or you're craving that soulmate energy to come into your life soon, or you think something's happening, especially if your north node is in the 7th house or the 5th house. I definitely think you're on to something. And it's funny because we were talking about you being skeptical. So I think the universe is giving you a major, like, yes, right now. Like, you are not delusional. You're not, you know, you're not going crazy. Like, there is some truth to this. But yeah, 7th house. Also, did I say someone could have Capricorn in the 7th house? Oh, this is like 2 birds of the same feather flock together, or whatever that saying is. And this is also making me think of the 2 of Cups. So that's interesting because you have 2 images of like 2 beings coming together in a very intimate manner. Because this feels like 2 of Cups lovers, you know, 2 people. This also feels like 2 of Cups lovers, 2 birds. And then it's interesting because here in the main dynamic of what's happening right now, because this feels like your current energy with each other, it's like there is distance between the 2 of you though. Whether you know this person or you don't know this person, there's distance. There's physical distance between the 2 of you. And I think the universe is working to get you together. Okay, so next deck, let's move on. This one can move away. I think this was my next one. Yes. So now we're going to see, with who do you truly belong? This is Aries, right? So for the, okay, here's the thing. For the feminine energy, there could be Capricorn and Sag in their big 3. For the masculine energy, Aries, but also fire, Aries, Leo. Personally, I'm not seeing Sagittarius in the masculine big three. I'm seeing Aries or Leo in their big three. But yeah, we have Gemini. Someone could have their 7th house in Gemini. Someone could have their 7th house in Aries specifically. Someone could have 7th house in, what was this, Sag or Capricorn. And this is also Capricorn. This is, what was it? Mars and Capricorn. So someone could have Mars in Capricorn and also, oh yeah, that would be 7th house in Cap. Yeah, so that's like all I'm seeing so far. So let's keep going. Okay, so now I will say maybe you were correct, because I think if you're, for some of you, like, remember the intro message was like, your logical mind is keeping you back. I actually think that's also your intuition, because you are meant to stay back. You're not meant to move out just yet. I think if you did leave this physical environment that you've been wanting to leave, then this wouldn't have happened. So you were right to not leave. And I think your brain would say, well, that was logical, but I actually think it was intuition and the universe. It's like the universe stepped in for that. And then for others of you, if you feel like you've been wanting to go and you can't, same thing. You're meant to be there for both of you. Oh my God, no freaking way. 22 on the time. I shuffled, I was talking, I didn't even look at bottom of the deck. And as I was saying, you're meant to be here at the right place at the right time to meet a partner. And I talked about the 2 of Cups because I was like, this looks like the 2 of Cups, that looks like the 2 of Cups. Come on, I can't make this up. I hope. And it was 22 on the time as I held that up, which is 2s. Oh my God. Group number 3. The synchronicities are through the chart for this group. Holy cow. Okay, so let's see. Who does group 3 truly belong with? We have the 7th house here. Who does group 3 truly belong with? So we have the 7 of Cups. 7, July, 7th month. Let's see, who does group 3 truly belong with? I'll take this one because it landed right on the 7th house. We have Page of Cups. Wow, incredibly positive. We have Ace of Wands. And then we have 2 of Wands. So Aries is out here again. So the Ace of Wands would be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So we have fire again. And then the 2 of Wands is specifically Mars and Aries. So that's interesting. We have Mars in Capricorn and Mars in Aries. This is Scorpio energy. This is Venus and Scorpio. So we kind of have Venus out here twice because this is Venus for the 7th house. The Venus is also the Empress energy, which is interesting because you have the Emperor. And then Page of Cups is water. So any of these placements could be significant. But who you are meant to be with. Somebody who makes you feel motivated and excited and puts you out of your comfort zone. Somebody who helps you, like, there's this like you both love to travel, you both love to explore. I think you're both very similar in your hobbies and your like activities that you want to do. I think you both love your downtime and like that peaceful time, but you also both love, I think you like bounce ideas off of each other, you bounce energies off of each other. There's this excitement because we see so much fire here. I also think physically you could complement each other really well. You know, I think you're either both like very attractive or something about your looks like just complements each other very well. But there's a lot of fun here. I also think there's something about this person being very diverse or like different cultural backgrounds. With the Lovers and this 2 of Wands here, it feels like they could have multiple cultural backgrounds, or it's like they have a very unique cultural background, or your backgrounds could even intertwine at some point in time. But I'm definitely seeing quality time. I'm definitely seeing quality time together, fun activities together. Like, this is somebody who really gets you. With that Lovers and the Two of Wands. It's like they get you without you even speaking, without you having to say much. I think you both understand each other on a subconscious level as well. With the Page of Cups here, this is somebody who's really sweet. I'm getting Cancer energy. They could have some Cancer in their charts. So, like, really sweet, really shy, like very shy, innocent kind of an energy coming through. I'm not seeing this as their physical age because I think they are relatively in your same age and maturity level, but I'm seeing this as their energy. They're very sweet and shy and like very down to earth, which is interesting because if this is their physical appearance, and this is their more emotional side, I think it's very different because on the outside maybe they're very powerful, maybe they are very successful, maybe they are very intimidating, or people, it almost feels like they have a specific outward appearance that they show to people because they have to show up that way, especially if they're in the spotlight, or if they're known to the public. It's like they have to show up in this maybe very like strict or sturdy and like serious and determined and that kind of a energy. But it feels like on the inside they're such a softie, like they just want to melt in your arms. And I feel like this, especially if this is the masculine person, it feels like they just want to be little spoon all the time. Like they just want that love and that nurturing energy. Not all the time, I'm sure you guys can switch, but it's like they just want that love from their partner and that nurturing energy from their partner. Like they're just such a softie, but at the same time they hold themselves really well in public and with work and things like that as well. But I also think like they're looking for a queen. I'm heavily thinking like they are looking for somebody of your stature that's on your level, that is as spiritual and emotionally stable and mature as you, that is as successful as you. So it definitely feels like they have a vision of like, this is exactly who I want. And I think you check off a lot of those boxes. And there's, okay, I don't want this to sound weird, but it's almost like they worship the ground you walk on. And I know that sounds so dramatic. And it's just coming through as like every little thing, like they just love everything you do, or they like quite literally want to give you the best. And like, I think Spirit is saying that you deserve and you belong with somebody who treats you like the queen that you are without settling for less than that. And I think that's the person that you're truly meant to be with, and somebody that you can have fun with, but also have that intimate time with, somebody that you can, travel and be adventurous with. I think you both have like that itch for traveling or for just exciting moments in life and being extroverted and stuff. So, but at the same time, you can be quiet and introverted too. It's like you deserve somebody that has that good balance. With the Seven of Cups, this is kind of interesting because the Seven of Cups, especially being Venus and Scorpio, someone that chooses you out of the crowd. This person could have a lot of suitors or a lot of options, especially if they're successful. And this being, you know what, the reason I'm connecting the dots like that, and I normally wouldn't read the Seven of Cups like this, but this is Venus and Scorpio, and I was talking about Scorpio because I mentioned like Scorpio on my candle, and then we were talking about like skeptical. So then I was like, okay, what if it's not? It could be Venus and Scorpio, and you could be a Scorpio specifically, but it could also be Venus in Capricorn, Venus in Sag, Venus in Aries, Venus in Leo, Venus in Cancer. So it's like what's interesting is whatever you are, whatever your big sign is, or your personality or whatever, it's like they have Venus in that specifically. It could be Scorpio, but it could be anything else that we've talked about. But what I'm saying is they would choose you out of a crowd because their Venus is literally directing them to a personality like you. it's almost like written in the stars. Like, I know that sounds so crazy, but it's like they're choosing you out of a crowd. They've been waiting for you, looking for you in this crowd. And they haven't found you yet. And that's why the moment they do, they choose you and they're immediately saying, okay, I want to pursue this person. But it's like, I don't know if you know who this person is. I would say look into their birth chart and see where is their Venus, and see if there's similarities in like what they look for in a partner, and if you have that in your birth chart, because there's something here on like, it's like more than just a physical energy with this person. I think like there's very much like a soul tie here, and I think it's like was written in the stars, like the moment both of you were born. Maybe you've even had past life connections with this person, and that's why spirit's been holding out. They're like, hold on, like just wait, something's happening, just wait. And that's why this feels like, because normally the Seven of Cups is about confusion and I don't know what to do and I'm overwhelmed, and they could feel that way right now because they haven't found you yet. And maybe they're trying to figure out like what to do with my love life, like where is my person. So there could be active confusion on their end, but I'm also viewing this as like they're scanning the crowd for you and they haven't found you yet. But the moment their energy senses your energy, it's like a light bulb. It's like, that's the person, that's my Venus. And I think that there's a whole deeper layer of astrological placements that takes part in this. You know what's so interesting, you guys? This is the first group that I'm heavily talking about astrological placements. And I will say it's probably because I'm learning, like I did a lot of research the past few days. So I'm learning a lot about astrology right now, but I also think, I don't know. So maybe that's what it is, because I was like, well, maybe, or it could be that there are prominent astrological placements right now within the two of you, but that's what I'm sensing. I feel like that's really great. I mean, if this is who you're meant to be with, I mean, this is true soulmate energy coming through. So I love that. Whether you met this person or you have not, I think it looks great so far. So now let's get into the last part of our reading. I just saw 3303, so threes are definitely your number. Doing what? So what is group 3 truly meant to be doing? This is a power couple. The way that we see mountains here. Oh, I just saw 33. Oh my God, I just saw. Okay. I need to slow down because so much is happening for this group at once. I just saw 3333 on the timer as I was saying power couple, because these mountains and the clouds up here and the birds being above that, it just feels like both of you are going to be so successful or have some high level of a status to where it's like you are climbing the mountain to the top together. You're climbing that ladder of maybe fame or success or recognition or money. It's like there's heavy power couple vibes going on here. Okay, so what is group 3 truly meant to be doing? Ooh, sextile, a combination of tension and flow, potential, and a rewarding situation. So I'm pretty sure a sextile is like a very positive. Okay, this is when I'm actually going to whip out my book, because I'm pretty sure sextile is like a very positive, but it says a combination of tension and flow. Oh, I'm thinking of trine. Okay, this is where the student in me has to grab the book. Wait, let's see what's going on with sextile. Okay, slight intermission as I try to find this. Oh, there it is, sextile. Okay. It says potential. Experiences, potential, experiences, a combination of tension and flow, rewarding situation. Okay, that's what that already said. So it says, when two planets sit 60 degrees away from one another, they are in sextile, and symbolically the gatekeepers to a beautiful healing. With diligent effort, this combination of tension and flow leads to great rewards. There is potent energetic flow between the planets involved, but like a garden, the relationship needs tending, and with guidance and nurturing, a sextile blossoms, bestowing its gift. It's important to identify this aspect because an ignored sextile is not only a missed opportunity, but easily misinterpreted as a block. In early life, a sextile may feel troublesome before it's identified and developed. However, if nurtured, sextile offers harmonious support in growth and achievement. Okay, clarify your intentions and move towards your dream wholeheartedly. But remember, an intention is a deeply rooted internal touchstone, not an external possession. It's your deeper purpose behind the thing you want. So can you affirm your intention with prophetic specificity while allowing the shape of what you want to shift? Can you remain laser focused while trusting the hard lines of your target to form the closer you move towards it? That's it. Weren't we saying that like you are very skeptical of this love life situation, this soulmate energy? Because I feel like this, can you remain laser focused while trusting? Shift your focus from external gains to internal desires of your soul. You're supported more than ever in making your dreams come true. But first, you must be crystal clear on what it is you truly want. Hold on to your knowing and move through life with unshakable integrity. Your reward is coming. It's already yours. You're just catching up with it. Oh my God, that I think seems very significant with what we've been talking about. But I think a huge message for group 3 here is trusting that something is working out for you and working with the challenges instead of looking at it as a blockage. Because we were saying earlier, if you've been, feeling stuck, feeling annoyed, feeling like things are not moving or things are moving too slowly or that you're missing out on opportunities or losing time, I think that you're viewing it as a blockage instead of viewing it as something to make work for you in this journey here. Whoa, that looks like the trine I was thinking about earlier. Oh my God, that's a 2 of Cups. Oh, it's a 6 of Cups. It's fine. Okay, let's clarify and let's see what is group 3 truly meant to be doing. We see sextile here. What is group 3 truly meant to be doing? The Tower. There's something here about working through whatever blockages that you currently have in your life, especially towards your love life or your heart chakra or the soulmate connection, or healing whatever needs to be healed and moving forward from it and like making it a positive situation and something that can actually help you instead of something that can actually hinder you. Let's see, what is group 3 truly meant to be doing? The Empress. We talked about you earlier. Oh yeah, this is all about you, group 3. And I think, again, I'm getting a very heavy feminine energy, but there could be masculine energies that are, resonating and watching group 3. So I will say, like, with this being the Empress or the Emperor, you're meant to sit at the top. You are meant to be abundant and luxurious and nurturing and loving, but also have a very successful life that you're living and that you have created. It's like you're not meant to be the average person. There's something very special about your energy that you are meant to be sitting on a throne at the very top. It could be a physical, literal throne. It could be a metaphorical throne. It could be a spiritual throne. But I think that you have to use the burdens or the wounds or the triggers and trauma in your life to your benefit instead of viewing it as a blockage. There's something here about like the energy is in your hands and you could either go in one direction with it, which would be this is a blockage, it's slowing me down, I'm never going to overcome this with that sextile, or it could be the energy of like, I'm going to overcome this and I'm going to make it work to my advantage so I can become the better person. There's something here about like the power is in your hands right now. What is group 3 truly meant to be doing? 6 of Pentacles. I definitely think you're meant to be very financially stable. So whatever it is you're doing for your career, group 3, or whatever you're drawn to for a career, I think you're already doing it. I think keep going because it is going to give you a lot of financial abundance and you're meant to be very, very financially stable with your career. Wow, and the Sun. Amazing energy. Orange seems like it could be a specific color. We see a lot of orange here. Orange is also sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra. Hot climates are also coming through again, but yeah, the sun, you're meant to be living a very authentic life to who you really are, to who your soul really is. I do think you are an old soul, so your soul has lived different lifetimes. And I think that you are meant to achieve another level. You're meant to unlock another level in this lifetime that your soul hasn't been able to do in the past. And I think harmonious energy, happiness, and this abundant energy is who you're truly meant to be. I think you're like a 1 in a million, group 3. Your energy is a 1 in a million. You're not meant to be the average person. You're not meant to be doing this like regular life. I think you're meant to be doing something very extraordinary. But that's to each their own, with your own individual fields, your own individual niches. I'm not seeing a specific thing that you're meant to do, but I do think at the end of the day, you're meant to stand strong in your divine feminine energy and stand strong within your career or however you give back to the world, because that's what's going to give you your ultimate financial security and ultimate happiness. And I think if you haven't started this journey yet, a lot of it is going to start with you working through your blockages and fears and letting go of limiting beliefs or previous versions of yourself and like truly reinventing yourself. And that could be something you have to do before this person comes in. But I think you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, and something is shifting very soon. Even this being like a time, you know, 60 degrees. So if that's like a time frame, maybe like 2 months, in the next 2 months, something could be happening because the hourglass is almost empty, like it's almost done. Yeah, and this would be 2 hours. So maybe literally for some of you, something is happening in the next 2 hours of you watching this, because this feels fast. Because so much fire, right? It feels like it's something's happening quickly. So literally the next 2 hours in your life, you're getting either like a major sign, synchronicity, maybe you're hearing something about this connection, something is developing, or at the very least, I think like over the next 2 months. I think by this summer, because I'm seeing a lot of heat, by this summer, so like June, July, May, June, July, I think a lot is shifting within this dynamic here. And actually, now that I think about it, I uploaded a month by month for 2026, and there was a group that there was a romantic relationship coming into your life in that May, June, July timeframe. And like things were really shifting in that summer timeframe. So definitely look into that month by month if this resonates with you. But let's get some advice for group 3. Okay, I'll take both. Time. Oh my God. Literally, we're talking about time. We're talking about trusting time. It says time. Too often, it feels as though the hours turn to days, the days turn to months, the months turns to years, and suddenly the days of our lives have passed in the blink of an eye. But perhaps there is a reality, one where we don't think of time as something separate to us. What if, in fact, time is actually a product of us? What if then it is time that originates from us and not the other way around? It is when we start to realize that we are the one that, with time, when the magic happens. So that's crazy. This entire reading, the hourglass, the 2 hours, like everything is talking about time. And that is talking about time. This is also, I thought of Friends with the Days of Our Lives. That's the show Joey's on. It says, B. We look to the past wondering what could have been. We look to the future wondering what will be. What if we were to look at the present, sinking our teeth into the juicy, sacred goodness that is right now? What if we were to just be? Be without worry, be without fear, be without anxiousness, without planning or rewriting. What if we were to just be fully saturated, fully immersed in all of the love and joy and uncertainty around us, to just be, and to let what has been be what it is, and let what is to be what it will. That's interesting because both of these are talking about trust and sitting still and waiting for things to happen and waiting for things to come into our life at the right time, in the right place. And that's what I said earlier, is like, all you have to do is just continue doing what you're doing. There's nothing that is needed of you right now because you're already on this timeline. It's just going to happen when it's meant to happen. Let's get one more. Thank you. Habit. It is often said that the secret to our success is hidden within our daily routines. For all big things are really just the sum of a million little things done consistently, done consistently, done diligently over time. And how beautiful is it to know that we have the power to create our reality. One short day at a time, one simple choice at a time, one sweet thought at a time. So tell me now, can you see how your habits are creating your reality today? It's at time 3 times. So clearly the timing of something is very important, and there's a reason you feel stuck. You're not stuck, you're stationed. Remember that. Okay, group 3, thank you so much for letting me give you this reading. It was very insightful. I had a lot of fun with this energy today. But if you want a private reading, go ahead and email me. It's in the description below. You can also check out my Patreon, where I have exclusive content, and there's a ton of in-depth readings over there too. That is also in the description below. But thank you so much. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hey guys, if you chose this blue obsidian crystal with the blue decks here. So this is the Landscape Tarot, this is the Modern Witch Tarot, and then this is the Marseille Arcana. You chose this blue and white combo. This is your group. Hello, group number 4. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you for all of your support on my channel. Whether it's your first time here or if you have watched my readings before, thank you so much. It really means the world to me, you guys. So I explained the reading in the intro. It's very straightforward. We're going to be looking at where do you truly belong, with who, doing what. So I broke it up into the 3 decks here. So we're going to be looking at where do you truly belong with this deck, with who with this deck, and then the doing what with this deck. So yes, let's get right into it. And I'm actually using this astrology deck that I really like, and it is also blue and white. So that's, yeah, blue and white. That could be significant colors for you in some way. Blue is also the throat chakra, so something about communication could also be important in your life. Maybe you speak or sing or use your use your throat chakra in some way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 3 cards from this, but we'll go in order. So we'll get 1 card from this to give us some more information, and then we will get more information with this. So for example, for the first, we'll do where do you truly belong. We'll get this to see a little bit of the idea of what's happening for group 4, and then we will go in with this. So it makes sense once I get into it. Okay, so for group 4, where in the world do they truly belong? Where in the world does group 4 truly belong? Okay. Ooh, oh my God. Mercury is about communication. Think, learn, network, and communicate. That is crazy because I was literally just talking about your throat chakra. Oh, wow. Also, the color blue is making me think of water signs. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You could have a water sign in your Mercury. You can use that as extra confirmation that you found your group. If not, it's totally fine. Just an added layer of confirmation. You could have Mercury in Cancer, Mercury in Scorpio, Mercury in Pisces. But wow, think, learn, network, and communicate. This is also making me think of the 3rd house, which has to do with like immediate connections around you, the neighborhood, immediate community, but also communications with people, you know, meaningful communications. But for sure, with all the blue that we're seeing, I think that you using your voice is very important. in this lifetime. So that could be so many ways. That could be singing, that could be talking, that could be, and even talking and speaking, that could break down into so many different categories. But there's something about using your voice that is very important on your destiny. So let me keep going, because this doesn't give me much information on the where. Also, with all the blue that we're talking about and seeing, as I was about to say water, you could be, maybe you're meant to live, oh my god, I'm getting tongue-tied. My throat chakra is closing up. For some of you, maybe you are having a hard time channeling your throat chakra. Maybe your throat chakra is closed for some reason, or you're not speaking up in some way, or you're not using it or utilizing it to the fullest potential that you have. But I was going to say, maybe you live around water, or if we're talking about where do you truly belong physically in the world, I think water. I think you feel very connected to the water, especially if you do have Cancer. Cancer is the moon, and moon is the tides, so everything revolves around water. But if you are a water sign, or specifically Cancer or Mercury in Cancer, maybe you feel very good around bodies of water. So maybe you live like on an island, maybe you live by the beach, maybe it's like a cottage somewhere by the beach. I don't know, something like that, Okay, but let's get into it, and let's see, where in the world does group 4 truly belong? Where does group 4 truly belong? Whoa, okay. Oh my gosh, the Lovers. And look, there's a little canal. Boat rides in a canal. I'm also thinking about Italy or like Spain, kind of like on that, like by the water. You know what I mean? Like on the, what is it called? When it's like right on the water, like the edge of the land. I know there's a better term for it, but aw, that's so sweet. And that's the Lovers and cute little otters. A place where it's very, very vibrant. Also, I'm seeing like historical buildings, historical homes. So like this could be a place, say if it is like in Italy, for example, there could be, it could be like little homes that were built many, many years ago, but it's like a historical neighborhood. There's something about like history, but also natural beauty, but definitely water as well. And it's very vibrant. Wow, more water. Page of Cups energy. Yeah. Blue is definitely your color, group 4. You could even have like a blue tint to your aura. Let me get more cards here. Where in the world does group 4 truly belong? Where in the world does group 4 truly belong? With the Lovers here and that idea of history or historical houses, there could also be something about your ancestry. Maybe you are meant to go back to where your ancestors are from. So if there is like a small town somewhere that, your family originated from, there could be, spirit could be wanting you to go back there or get in touch with your roots. Even if it's not a permanent living situation, I think there's a need for you to get in touch with your roots, get in touch with your ancestors, or at least like go to the place and live in the place temporarily from where you came from, where your DNA came from. Maybe those houses are still intact. Maybe like your great-grandma's house is still intact, your grandparents' house is still intact. There could also be something about your childhood. Maybe you used to visit their home in your childhood, but let me get some more information here. Where in the world does group 4 truly belong? Whoa, that was like 10 cards. Where in the world does group 4 truly belong? Okay, taking a while. I almost like had to force that card to come out. Okay, the High Priestess, more water. High Priestess is moon energy. So definitely Cancer and water and the moon is incredibly prominent here. Ooh, maybe it's a place where you can see the moon clearly. Because I'm trying to think about physical attributes. So maybe there's like not many trees that are covering up the night sky, and there's not a lot of like light. You know, when you're in a big city and there's so much light from buildings and stuff that you can't see the night sky. It's something like that. Like you can see the night sky, you can see the moon. Maybe you even lay down in the grass and look at the moon or meditate under the moon. And even this has a little body of water, a little waterfall. I'm also thinking about Canada with this. I know this is like way smaller than the Niagara Falls, but it made me think of Canada because of the little falls here. Okay, I might not be able to get another card. Oh, perfect. Wow. Oh, King of Cups. We're seeing all the water animals. We're seeing all the water signs coming through. Because this is a landscapes deck, so they don't have just water, but we're seeing a lot of the water. We have the Wheel of Fortune here. Okay. I definitely think that where you truly belong, whether you want it to be permanent or temporary, that's up to you, because I'm not sensing if it's going to be permanent or temporary, but I do think to some extent you belong in some place that has to do with your ancestors. There is, for some reason, you're meant to go back to your ancestry, your family roots. That's coming through very powerfully, especially because, oh my god, I cannot speak. Especially because I'm seeing the Lovers and I'm seeing the Page of Cups, and this Lovers in this scenario is making me think of childhood and children, and this is also making me think of children. So there's something about like maybe teaching your kids, if you have kids, like teaching your kids about your ancestral roots, or maybe you grew up as a child visiting this place specifically, but there's something to do with like childhood or maybe where you grew up, but also tying into your ancestry in some way. I will say, group 4, I think your ancestors are very active in your energetic field. I think they're everywhere all the time, communicating with you, watching over you. And especially if you had significant like grandparents or great grandparents or like aunts, uncles, like if you had specific family members that you always felt very connected to and they have passed over, I think it's a confirmation that they are always with you. They're always looking out for you and helping you as much as they can. But I am seeing like heavy water. You're meant to be by the water. You're meant to live by the water. You're meant to be in the water. I think that 11:11 on the time. I think water is very like nurturing for you. It's very grounding. It's very humbling. It like brings you back down to earth. Because I'm not seeing, as of now, I'm not seeing a lot about who you are. I think so far I'm only seeing what this kind of an energy does to your energy. And I think that, especially with Mercury here, it's like interesting because there's like communication. So think, learn, network, and communicate, but also something to do with ancestors or your family lineage, or something to do with water as well. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is very much talking about destiny. Like the Wheel of Fortune, it's hard to kind of pinpoint what that Wheel of Fortune is talking about. Let me pull out my guidebook and I'll read what it says for Mercury. Oh wait, I already passed it. Wait, where is this? Okay. So it says ideas, inspiration, your mind, channeling, and communication. So maybe it is that you're channeling a lot. Thinking and learning how you process information, networking, socializing, light, and unemotional connections. Interesting. It says, the energy of Mercury is embodied in ancient mythology by Hermes, delivery man to the gods, a speedy messenger between physical and spiritual world. And like the nimble god, Mercury delivers ideas and inspiration from airy ethers to Earth's creatures. That sounds like your ancestors. I'm just saying like something about your ancestral roots, like they're still a part of you. They're still sending you signs and synchronicities. Linking it to the senses as the receptors through which you receive information. And like Hermes' ability to come and go between worlds, Mercury helps you receive messages from your subconscious by collecting it or connecting it to spells, mantras, and any forms of channeling or communication. This light, fluid, social energy fuels networking and unemotional meetings of the mind. Lift out of your emotional body and connect with the intelligence of your rational mind. Your emotional world is a verdant and beautiful landscape. Oh my God! Landscape! We're using the landscape deck for you. It is your greatest teacher, but every so often hover above it and elevate your perspective. In stillness, you're reminded feelings do not define you. Practice removing your emotional filter from critical thinking and problem solving. Hone your ability to see things as they are truly and as they truly are and think methodically. The clearer you get, the wiser your decision making and the more open your mind for spiritual guidance, channeling, and psychic downloads. That's really interesting. There really is something about your ancestors channeling to you, sending you messages. Maybe for some of you, if you do resonate with being psychic, maybe, or if you are a part of like the divination world with maybe tarot or other forms of divination, maybe you also have ancestors that were a part of this as well. And it's like they're helping you and guide you onto like the next generation of divination through the family blood. There's also, for some of you, here's a very specific example. If you're adopted, or if something happened in like your family lineage where it like shifted, somebody was adopted, something changed, and I think there's a need for you to go back to that period in time because there's something that you are meant to learn from, like maybe somebody being adopted, or if you were adopted, like something shifted for some people within your lineage, and there's a need for you to learn more about that culture, or maybe like where that person was adopted from, or like where the adopted mom or dad or parents are from. There's something like that that's like connecting here. But this is very interesting. I want to keep going just so I have a better understanding of what we're talking about. Let's get into the next part of our group really quick. Oh, let's talk about, yeah, zodiac. So we have Mercury. Gemini, someone could have Mercury in Gemini. This is water signs. High Priestess is the moon energy, which we could say Cancer. And then Wheel of Fortune is all of the fixed signs. So Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius energy. So somebody could have Mercury in those 4 fixed signs. There's this energy of like your fate was decided for you before you were born. And I think that's why there's something very strongly linking to your ancestors. Like something was decided for you before you came onto this earth, because the Wheel of Fortune is a very fated encounter. It is about destiny, it's about your purpose, it's about things that were already written out and decided for you even before you showed up. And for some reason, this is tied to this. If I'm also viewing this as like a physical place you are meant to be or meant to live, I think like you're meant to live away from the chaos of a city, because all of this feels very isolating. But I think you thrive in some isolation, and isolation is not the right word. I think maybe more of that hermit energy, like we're protecting ourselves, we're distancing ourselves from the chaos of the city or from the chaos of the crowd, and we thrive maybe in the suburbs or in the countryside, or we thrive on the outskirts of town where we're alone, and maybe we live on a farm, we live on some kind of field, we live in that little cottage. There's something here about you being isolated and removed from society because you're so intuitive, group 4. Like you're quite literally psychic, and whether you realize it or you don't, I think that you download all the energies that are around you, whether it's politics, whether it's people that you meet in the city, whether it's the angry arguments that you see, whether it's the violence. I think there's so many things that you are so receptive to, and you just like absorb all this energy even if you don't want to. And I think the easiest way for you to like detach from that is to physically remove yourself from the noise and from the chaos of the world around you. Because it feels like you are not a part of that chaos, but the world around you is. So the best way for you to truly like tap into who you really are energetically, to your psychic abilities, and also tap into your ancestors or to the world around you, to Mother Nature around you, it's like to really remove yourself from that city chaos, because all of this feels very isolated and very much alone. I'm doing my own thing. I also think for some of you, you thrive living alone or having your own personal space. So maybe it's like even if you like say you're young or you are living with family or something, or living with a partner, I think it would be very beneficial for you to have your own room in the home, or have your own little like cave for your own space. I think that a place for your own privacy and your own sanctuary is very, very important with how psychic you are and how receptive you are, even when you don't want to be. And I think there is definitely something about water, where you and water are like this, just like the moon and the high priestess are they're so interconnected. I think you and the flows of water are very, very interconnected. But I'm definitely seeing like you protecting your physical space, your physical energy. And maybe there's like obviously like minded people around. Maybe you have kids, a spouse, or like family, but it feels like a small and limiting crowd out in the countryside somewhere. Like, I just feel like you're not meant to be with the chatter and the chaos. And this even feels like social media as well. Like, maybe for a lot of you, you don't have social media because of how chaotic it can be. And I think you do your best to stay away from negative energies. And I think that's like truly where your soul thrives, is a place where you can tap into your intuition, sit with the universe, and have nothing that is energetically draining you. You know what I mean? Okay, I love that. So let's keep going and see what else is coming through. I feel like so far I'm getting a very spiritual group here, but I'm seeing things very in a very abstract manner as well. So that could also resonate with you in some way. Let's go ahead and see, who does group 4 truly belong with? Oh, we got 2. Venus! Oh my gosh, you guys are just like... You guys are... Yang is the masculine energy, isn't it? Yeah. Wow, you have feminine with Venus, with give and receive love, find value, and see beauty. So this is like Empress energy, but this is Venus 7th house energy. And then we have Yang, which I'm pretty sure is the masculine. So you have feminine and masculine at the same time. We have proactivity, expression, doing, and forward motion. Signs. So we have Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius energy here. Wow, and even with the tree here, it feels like ancestral roots or you planting your own roots. There really is something, even this with the clamshell, it feels like in your own little bubble, in your own little world. I think Spirit is really advising you to protect yourself, but also to be able to live in your own sanctuary, to be able to plant roots and like build something sustainable for yourself, or build some kind of foundation for yourself. I think that you will draw inspiration from the ones that came before you through your family lineage. Or maybe your family lineage, for example, left you a house. You know, there's something here where something is tied to your ancestors. Wow. So um, with who do you truly belong? I mean, you belong with somebody who's going to add to your peace. With Venus here in the 7th house, this does talk about partnerships. So I will say, for a lot of you, you could be a feminine energy and maybe the partner is a masculine energy. There's a need for you to balance it out though. Or if you are the masculine energy, such as the Yang, then you are meant to be with a feminine energy. There's something here on like you have to balance each other out, but I do think you are meant to be with somebody who's just as receptive to spirituality. Maybe they're not as psychic as you are, group 4, but this person has to be able to understand what you experience. They have to be there to also protect you and somewhat shelter you and guide you away from the chaos of what you experience maybe in the city life. It's like somebody who really gets why you do the things you do. There's a deep empath, and there's deep empathy that I'm sensing from this person here. And it's like somebody who really loves you, who wants to take care of you, but you also want to take care of them. I'm definitely seeing that dynamic of like, we love each other, we take care of each other, but it's maybe just us, maybe it's just our family. With Venus being Empress energy, this is also like Taurus and Libra. So with Venus here, that's the Empress, that's the mom, you know? So I think it's very possible that with so much divine feminine, because High Priestess is also divine feminine energy, there's a lot of divine feminine here. So it's very possible that you could possibly have kids. I think traditionally the Empress and divine feminine energies have children. Traditionally, it doesn't have to be. So I think either it's like you want to live somewhere just by this person. I'm seeing isolation though, but in a very good way. I'm seeing hermit. I'm seeing like we're not shutting out the world on purpose, but we like to be alone. So it feels like either you're meant to live just you and your spouse, maybe some close friends here and there, but kind of living away. Or if you do want kids, then I see it's like you and a spouse with some children. But again, not everyone wants kids, so that doesn't have to be for everybody. But I'm definitely seeing like you are meant to live with your other half. And this other half is very similar to you in what it is you do. And also you're, or maybe it's not you directly, but the feminine energy is more passive. It's receiving love, it's nurturing, it's giving, it's taking care of the other person. And then the masculine energy is the more action oriented, motivated, hands on type of an energy. So again, there's like you're meant to give love, and somebody is also meant to like take care of you, but in like a different form. But you're taking care of each other. I don't know if that makes sense. I will say I'm seeing very traditional feminine roles. I'm seeing very traditional masculine roles. That doesn't have to resonate with you if that's not you, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. But let's get into it. Who is group 4 truly meant to be with? Who is group 4 truly meant to be with? And we saw the King of Cups, so definitely like a receptive water sign seems very important for you, group 4. Four of Pentacles. This is somebody who really values tradition, but they also value your family roots. Or it's like they really value the family aspect of life. So again, everything here really revolves around like family or like security, privacy. This is somebody who likes to be minimal. You are meant to be with a minimal person. Again, they're not flashy. They're not flashy, but they're very grounded, and they support you in your grounding energy. I think both of you ground each other, you nurture each other. But the Four of Pentacles also talks about familiarity, talks about your home life. So it's like this person respects, we already said that, right? Like this person respects your home life. They respect the way you want to live, and they want to live in the exact same way. I think you and this person are almost the exact same person. You're very, very similar. Let me keep going. This is Capricorn. So this is specifically Sun in Capricorn. So somebody could have Venus in Capricorn, Sun in Capricorn, or Mercury or Venus in one of the masculine signs, or kind of what we're talking about here. Let's clarify. Who is group 4 truly meant to be with? This person could have glasses. We have the 5 of Swords. Who is group 4 truly meant to be with? Wow, 2 major arcana. Excuse me. 2 major arcana right by each other right here. So the 5 of Swords is Aquarius and Venus. So you have Venus out here again. Somebody could have Venus in Aquarius. This is Pisces energy. This is Saturn in Pisces, and this is also Pisces with the Hanged Man. So lots of Pisces. You need somebody who's very open-minded to your belief system and to like what you know to be true as a psychic. As an intuitive person, you also need somebody who is intuitive. You don't need somebody who is as intuitive as you, but you need them to be at least open-minded enough to know what you deal with on a regular basis, to know what energies are, to know how receptive you are. It's like you need somebody who understands these things. You need somebody who sees that perspective. They have that higher level of perspective, but they're open-minded to learning new things. And this is a person that observes. They're slow to react, but they're observing everything. They are taking notes, but they will think about it before they speak. They will observe before they act. They're very slow in that sense of, I'm going to sit here for a while before I react. But I think that's exactly what you need, because you seem similar in that sense as well. Like, you're also very observant, and you also take your time before you react to things. So that seems important here. But with that Four of Pentacles and even that Lovers here, you know, both of these cards together, it really feels like you need somebody who's going to balance you but also complete you at the same time. And you need somebody who values your traditions, values your living situation, values your financial habits, value, like, it's like you need this person to value a lot of the same things that you value. I feel like, you know, it's not that you don't want to compromise, but I think you're so unique, group 4, that like it would be too difficult to like compromise on certain things, and you just need somebody who just gets it. You know, it's either like you get it or you don't. And I think Spirit is encouraging you, don't settle for somebody who doesn't get it, because Spirit doesn't want you to compromise. But I do think if you're more of the feminine energy, you do need that masculine energy to balance you out. Or if you are the masculine energy, then you do need that feminine energy to balance you out. But very minimal, like minimal spending habits, maybe even like minimal furniture, minimal things. Like, I don't think you like clutter. And I think something about being minimalistic is important. This also feels like somebody who understands the chaos of a city, or the chaos of what people can bring. So that's another way you can be compatible, is like they get it. They get the chaos that you want to walk away from, and they help you walk away from that chaos, or they support you in that endeavor. This is also somebody with really great communication skills. The fact that we have Mercury here and Venus, it feels like both of you talk about everything. That's part of them being open-minded. Both of you talk about everything. You debate topics, but in a not like in a heated manner, but you really like dissect things, you observe things, you talk about everything. So very much open communication between the two of you. And also I feel like you need somebody who's an open book, because I think you could definitely maybe you do shy away from things from time to time, or shy away from speaking up, or maybe you do overthink things, and I think you need somebody who's a little bit more blunt or a little bit more straightforward at times. This is Venus in Aquarius and Saturn in Pisces. Interesting. This is making me think of detachment. Like, you need somebody who is detached from their emotions. Maybe because you are so emotional, or you're so energetically tuned into emotions, or you're so psychic that like you need somebody who is able to detach emotionally. Or else maybe the both of you would be too emotional all the time, or it's like too emotionally driven. You need that logic to your emotions. You need that detachment maybe to your connections. And I think that this person has that level of detachment. And if you are more of the emotional one or the more psychic one, then I think they are the more logical one. They are the more practical one, the more rational one. And I think that's another way that you balance each other out. But I think your values are very important. So at the end of the day, they have to be aligned with your values. Also, there's like mountains on both of these images with water. So I'm seeing like outdoor activity. Maybe you like to hike, maybe you like to spend time outdoors. So you would also want somebody who will also spend time outdoors. This is also a very honest person. Did I say that? Yeah, straightforward and very, very honest. Let me keep going and I'll come back to this if needed. So let's see. Now, what is group 4 truly meant to be doing? Oh, that was fast. Oh, house 4, fourth house, literally family. It says cultural and family roots. Wasn't I literally talking about family roots this entire reading? Even the tree right here. Even before we saw this, I was talking about your cultural roots up here. So cultural and family roots, home, peace, and comfort. Yeah, and especially with that bird nest, it feels like you are meant to be living in that very secure home dynamic. I think, again, if you resonate with being feminine and like you want kids, then I think your part of your destiny could literally be a stay-at-home mom or to be nurturing children. And if it's not your own kids, maybe it's like kids around you. There's something about children that's been very prominent. So maybe it's like nurturing the neighborhood kids, maybe you work with kids, maybe you have nieces and nephews if you don't have your own, but there's something here about like you're meant to nurture young kids in some way. But for those of you who want to have kids, I think that the signs, the stars, everything is definitely in your favor for you to have your own children. And even here we see the moon in the background talking about that nurturing energy. Wow. Very specific energy, you guys. If this doesn't resonate with you, I would say check out a different group. I'm talking to a very specific collective. Didn't I talk about the 4th house earlier too? I don't remember, but I feel like I talked about the privacy and security and the roots that you build from your 4th house. I don't remember, but I'm sure I did. You could have Venus in 4th house, Mercury in 4th house. You could have any of our yang signs here in the 4th house. Okay. Let's see. What is group 4 truly meant to be doing in this lifetime with our 4th house energy here? Wow, the Lovers. Again, so you have the Lovers out here twice. That's the Lovers. And then here's the Lovers again. You're really meant to nurture. I don't know if you're meant to nurture kids and a family, or if you're just meant to nurture like you and a spouse when your own little family, maybe even nurturing pets, but you're really meant to nurture the loved ones in your life. And maybe that's why the ancestral roots are so strong with you. You're also meant to keep some generational legacy alive that has to do with family. So maybe it's a family business you're meant to keep alive, family traditions meant to keep alive. Maybe literally like reproducing and having kids is something that your family or you are meant to do if that aligns with you because of continuing the family tree. But there's something about continuing a family legacy that you're already a part of for some of you. Even the 2 birds in the nest is so cute. Let's keep going. Let's see. What is group 4 truly meant to be doing in this lifetime? Page. Lots of pages. Yeah, that's a page up there too. Page of Pentacles. Okay, hold on. Let me kind of adjust something. I'm thinking about the Canadian national anthem. Again, that's my second time thinking about Canada. So Canada could be significant for some of you here. Sorry while I just try to adjust these a little bit. Okay. Let's clarify and get some more information. What is group 4 truly meant to be doing in this lifetime? Temperance. Wow. You have the Lovers twice. You have the Wheel of Fortune, the High Priestess, the Hanged Man, and you have Temperance. That's a lot of major arcana. And from this deck, 2 already. Let's see. One more card. What is group 4 truly meant to be doing in this lifetime? 10 of Swords and the 8 of Swords. Healing generational trauma? That kind of makes a lot of sense because we're talking about generational. That can be for some of you, doesn't have to be for everybody, but we have the 8 and the 10 of Swords here. So with all this nurturing energy, it's like you're meant to heal generational trauma, meant to heal generational wounds that have fallen into your lap, meant to break through generational cycles. meant to live a different, for some of you, if there is some kind of a troubling energy in your generational past, in this lifetime you're meant to break those karmic patterns. You're meant to break the karmic ties or pay off the karmic debt in some way. A very specific example that I can give you that's coming to mind, I don't know why, is Eminem, the rapper from Michigan, because he grew up in a very, very like toxic family household situation. You know what I mean? Like, you can do research about that, but he grew up in a very bad family environment. But everyone says like he broke those generational curses. He broke that generational pattern because he ended up doing really well for himself and providing for his kids. So now his kids are living a life that he could have never even dreamed of as somebody that was a child at one point in time. So a lot of people say that he broke those generational curses and patterns, and now he is setting a new path, and he has paved a new way for his next legacy, for the next kids and grandkids to come along. And those people, the future kids, future family, never has to experience what he went through. He totally like rerouted them into a completely different path. And I think for a lot of you, you're meant to do that. You're meant to break some kind of ancestral curses. I hate saying that, but that word, I hate that word, but like ancestral patterns, ancestral trauma, you're meant to break out of it, break free from it, so you're not repeating it for your own kids or your own grandkids. I think that's very important for some of you. I don't know if it's for everybody, but I think for a lot of you, since we're talking about family for this entire group, I think for a good amount of people, that is very important. These generational things could have weighed down on your family for years and years and years. There could have been karmic patterns that have been repeating themselves for years, and you're meant to finally end it and break out of it. And that is part of your destiny here on Earth. And I do think part of your destiny is to love and nurture a family or kids in some way. I think if you definitely have wanted to be a mom or a dad, and you've like always wanted that family environment, that traditional family environment, I think you're definitely on the right path. I think that is in your future. We have the Page of Coins and we have Temperance. Temperance is about patience. It's about, again, a nurturing and healing, loving environment, but it's a patient environment. It doesn't rush anything. It takes its time. And I think you're really like meant to be patient in this lifetime. It's interesting, right? This group is very different because it's a very abstract energy. For the other groups, it was very specific. Like I got solid, specific career messages. Like, this is what you're meant to be doing. It's all about your career. Like, it's all about this and that. But it feels like for this group, I'm reading a very abstract energy. I'm not seeing like physical things. I'm seeing your personality, or I'm seeing what you have to break out of. I'm seeing your internal dialogue in some way. And I think you're meant to heal, and you're meant to stay patient and evolve in some way here. But I think it's directly tied to that fourth house energy of family and roots. Let me actually read what it says for fourth house. Okay. All right, we have nesting within a home or family, influence of childhood, home. It says cultural and family roots, where you seek private peace and comfort, the home life you desire, and your mother. It says parents, but specifically mother. Like the roots of the tree of your life, quite literally, what I talked about, that tree earlier. This house sits at the base of the chart. It reveals your basic sense of security and the influence of your childhood home. It's your experience of parents, especially the primary caregiver or whoever you leaned on for mother energy. Did you grow up in a safe, nurturing space, or did home feel unstable and love felt conditional? If looked at from the perspective of a lifespan, it's the vulnerable child craving comfort, support, and consistency. Where were those needs met? It's the building human. Oh my God, I can't read. It's the budding human taking shape and nesting within a home or family, echoing for better or for worse, where you feel most comfortable and at home as an adult. Ruled by Mother Moon, there's that mother nurturing energy, and the natural home of domestic Cancer. We talked about Cancer a lot. This space reveals where you seek private peace and comfort. It's the cultural and family roots that color the backdrop of your upbringing. It's your formative, ingrained place in the world and the roots of your identity. Its energies reveal the home life you have or hope to build. Okay, I'll keep it here if you want to pause to read the rest, like down here, but that's very interesting. I feel like that's all we've been talking about. And with the Page of Coins and Temperance and breaking out of some karmic patterns, I think that you're really meant to physically build that home life in this lifetime. Like you're physically meant to build it, like not just manifest and pray for it or wish for it, but it's like you're meant to physically create that life that you wanted. So for some of you, maybe if it's like you did not have the childhood or the family dynamic that you wanted, then in this lifetime you're meant to create that for yourself, create that home life for yourself or for your own family. There's something here about whatever you went through. If you want the opposite of what you went through, then you're meant to break out of the patterns and heal and provide for the next generation in the way that you wanted. Or if you went through a great family situation and you had a great life in childhood, then you're meant to continue that for the next generation. There's something about generational legacy that is rooted in here, but that's what I'm seeing. Group number 4, very specific. Let's get some advice. The amount of like mother energy is crazy because Venus is the mom, 4th house is also the mom, and then the amount of divine feminine energy that talks about the mom. So something could be directly tied to you and your mother, you and your grandmother. Okay, it says leap. It can be scary, dear one, to allow yourself to embark upon change. The depths of the unknown can seem so treacherous, where we stare into them safely perched in the clouds of our comfort zone. Alas, the irony of finding little to no real peace, little to no real growth. It's these misleading, comfortable realms. So take the leap, make the change. You're guided beyond measure. You're supported without question. But my darling, there is a catch. You must be the first to go. You must jump first and allow the universe to catch you. This feels like breaking those ancestral patterns for some of you, maybe for a lot of you. Breaking out of those ancestral situations and taking that leap and going first instead of sitting in your comfort zone of what you've already known. Oh my God, retreat and restart or restore. I can't read this font. Retreat and restore sounds very similar to that. Okay, so often we underestimate the power of rest. Yeah, retreat. Okay. The power of rest. When our hearts feel heavy and our minds cannot quiet, it is often a sign that we're doing too much. Pushing too hard, thinking too far, this concept of more is not always better for our souls. Sometimes the real power, the real abundance is the power of less. Maybe when I said restart, for some of you, there is a need to restart something, to start over, to move on from something, to finally let go, maybe of emotional baggage from family situations, emotional baggage from ancestral roots. It's finally time to let go. Okay, thank you. Oh, that is so pretty. That kind of looks like you looking up to the moon, finding guidance from the moon. Okay, worthy. Let's see. You, my dear, are enough. You're enough for your most daring of hopes. You're enough for your deepest of desires. You are enough for the purest of love. And you have enough strength to conquer your darkest of fears. You, my love, are enough for abundance beyond measure. In being created, you are by default worthy of the life of your wildest dreams. I feel like that's also part of some generational healing that needs to be done. Or if you grew up and feeling like you weren't worthy, I think that is something that's part of what you are meant to overcome in this lifetime. But okay, group 4, very, very specific message. If you want to build on this, definitely go ahead and email me. I feel like this is a great topic for those of you, if you are dealing with like breaking patterns, breaking karmic, generational patterns and situations. I think that's something we can definitely work through together. If you're interested, go ahead and email me. I would love to discuss your situation with you one-on-one. And if you're interested in exclusive content, I have a Patreon where we have a ton of monthly videos, and there's a ton of content over there that is also in the description below. But go ahead and check it out. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your support, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye, guys.